Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode, I've forgotten, 62 of Magnificent Mondays, where this week we're looking at a little film that you might have heard of called Ghostbusters. Apparently it had a sequel or two as well. I think it did reasonably okay. So that's what we're looking at this week. There it is, Ghostbusters, which has a 12 certificate in the UK for moderate sex references. We'll get to that. But anyway, Win Grace is here. He says, yeah, ghost. Hey gang, let's split up and search for clues. Anyway, so there we go. Ghostbusters. Everybody knows this film, don't they? But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we're live on YouTube, I hope. I'm guessing because Win Grace is here. So yes, we're live on YouTube. We should be live on Rumble. Let's give it a refresh. See if my stupid face appears. Yes, we're live on Rumble, and I'm gonna have to refresh Twitch as well because it hasn't popped up on Twitch. And yes, we're live on Twitch as well. Cool. Wing says, I love it when they drive around in a cool car and an ape. He's talking about the original Ghostbusters. Apparently, it cost Columbia an arm and a leg to get the rights from Filmation to use the title Ghostbusters, because it would become like Ghost Breakers and Ghost Stoppers and stuff like that. But originally it was called Ghostbusters, but they were trying other titles as well in case they couldn't get the rights to use the name Ghostbusters. But they did. They actually got the rights because they were filming it, and they kept filming different. Whenever the word Ghostbusters were used, they filmed alternative takes with like Ghost Stoppers, Ghost Breakers, blah blah blah. But there were a scene near the end of the film, which we'll get to, where all the crowd in New York are cheering Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, just like that in the Yorkshire accent. And I don't know, Ivan Reitman or somebody phoned up the Columbia executives or somebody and said, listen to them chanting Ghostbusters, get us the rights. So they did. They got the rights. They paid. I don't know how much they paid, but they paid a lot of money for the Ghostbusters title. Anyway, right. What else? We're live on those platforms. Later on, I'll upload it to Spotify. So you'll either. I think it depends what sort of Spotify account you've got. Sometimes you can watch it as a video, sometimes it's audio only, but whatever. I'm also on Facebook, X and Instagram. Links are in the description, as I have links for my 2 books. They're underneath that Ghostbusters vinyl soundtrack album, original soundtrack album with lots of songs. I can't even read it. I can't because it's black. It's black on red, and I can't see. It's just a blur. It is, I tell you. But the songs from the film, and I don't remember one of them. One of the songs, I think it's the Laura Branigan one. I don't know because I can't remember. You hear it so briefly. Somebody's got it on headphones, and all you can hear is. But anyway, what was I saying? Links. Yes. Don't forget. You can join us in the chat if you're a member. I've got to do it as members only chat because of trolls and stuff like that seem to have singled me out for abuse, but never mind. What else? Merch. You can buy merch like this t-shirt, or I'm Nearly Dead t-shirt for my gaming streams, which I haven't done a gaming stream for a few days. I've been too busy. I haven't had a chance. What else? Patreon as well. Go check out the Patreon page for exclusives and early access. I just put an early access video up yesterday. I think it was yesterday, but the day before, whenever. Right, so is that it? Right, Ghostbusters, off we go. We'll talk about it for a minute before we start looking at it. 1984, the second highest grossing movie worldwide of 1984, only beaten by Beverly Hills Cop. It was the highest grossing movie in America in 1984, but worldwide it was beaten out by Beverly Hills Cop. And oddly enough, they wanted Eddie Murphy for the Winston Zedmore role, but he turned it down. Pardon me. Anyway, it stars Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, Rick Moranis, Sigourney Weaver, William Atherton, and various supporting actors. Directed by Ivan Reitman, written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Ramis, I'll say. With an amazing score from Elmer Bernstein. People seem to forget he's got a great musical score. They always think of the songs and the theme song by Ray Parker Jr., who was sued by Huey Lewis. Because this song basically a rip-off of a Huey Lewis song. But anyway. At a budget of $25 to $30 million, box office of $296.6 million. If you account for inflation, this is Columbia's highest grossing movie ever. Apparently. Is that it? Yeah, that'll do. Right, so off we go. This film is based on true events. Yes, stuff that really happened in New York. Yes, it is. In 1984. Right, so let's get on with it. As usual, we'll not just be watching the film, because, YouTube will go mental. So we're watching it in a series of stills. I may play the odd snippet. I've probably still got a copyright claim, because it's unbelievable. But right, so I'll make myself teachy tiny, but first I've got to get rid of all that stuff on the bottom. There we go. And I'll make myself teachy tiny. Can I remember which one it is? Is it that one? Yes, I picked the right one. And off we jolly well go. Add to stage. That'd help, wouldn't it, Steve? Yes, it would. By the way, one of the... we'll get to it. Slimer. When we get to Slimer, that's got a connection to me. Right. Anyway, off we go. There's the Columbia lady. There she is. By the way, this was made at a time when Columbia was owned by Coca-Cola. You can tell. I'll point it out. I should have made notes. I should have done a little tick box or whatever every time you see a can of Coke or a bottle of Coke or a mention of Coca-Cola in the background, whatever, in this film. There's going to be lots of them. We'll keep an eye out, Anyway, right, so we begin outside. There we go. The New York Public Library. By the way, I've got a list of locations that this was filmed at, so let's have a look. Yes, the New York Public Library on 5th Avenue. The address is 476 5th Avenue, if you want to write them a letter. It was filmed outside and inside. I don't know what's going on here with this this stuff here. They're working on it or cleaning it or whatever. I imagine if this were made today, all that would be painted out, wouldn't it? They wouldn't want all this muckment. But obviously there was some work going on at the New York Public Library when they were filming Ghostbusters there. A lot of New York locations in this film, but also the stage work, the studio sets are in Burbank in California. But there is a lot of stuff in New York. Excuse me. And here we see the lions. And as I said, there must be something going on, some restoration work maybe. Right, we're inside now. This is the poor librarian who works there. This is actually the inside of the New York Public Library. Apparently it's upstairs. I don't know, I've never been, but apparently it's upstairs. And they were allowed to film there up to 10 a.m. I don't know what time they started, it didn't say. I watched this earlier on with the commentary and this behind the scenes. And they said they were allowed to film there up to 10 a.m. and then they were booted out. I don't know how long they filmed there for, how many days or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, off she goes. Then in the magic of Hollywood, here we go. She comes down some stairs in a minute. There we go, comes down some stairs. These stairs are in Los Angeles. Now we're entering the basement of the Los Angeles Public Library. And there we go. Which has apparently been used in a lot of films. Don't ask me which ones, but apparently it has, according to Ivan Reitman. But then we're going to see our first incident of supernatural activity. You ready? Hang on, I've missed it already. Gone past it, haven't I? There we go. There it is. Ooh, floating books. Just books on wires. They said, easy stuff. They said, this will be done digitally today. And so it's just books on wires. Looks really good to me, because they're not wobbling or anything. They're just going straight across, aren't they? So they must be on solid work, or just really good puppeteers. and well hidden gaps for them to go into. But anyway, we see them books floating by. Does she have a name, by the way? Let's have a look. I always wonder, does she have a name? I'm going to have to go into all cast and crew. Oh, no, she's there, just there. Alice Drummond as librarian. She doesn't have a character name. Maybe she does, though, because you never know. Because you know what IMDb's like. No, it doesn't say on Wikipedia. Doesn't say. No, it just says Alice Drummond as the librarian. Could they give her a name? Anyway, so here we go. We see more supernatural activity as she's walking down this thing. The oh, excuse me. The file card system thing starts to open up. Because obviously it's 1984. Computers are only just coming in, aren't they? So they've still got lots of file cards. And there we go. All the things start coming out, and this were done with a simple enough thing. Basically, it's a false wall apparently behind, and they're just and these are all fake, apart from the ones that open, and they're just blowing air through tubes to make all the cards flip out. And they did several takes, and they said the worst thing was picking up all the cards afterwards, after each take. But anyway, so there she goes. All that's happening, and I can actually see this one. You can actually see that the go back a bit. There we go. Hang on, show us. There we go. You can see the little thing pushing the cards up. I imagine there's the pipe for the air is underneath that and blowing the cards out like that. Wingate says, "Hello, computer." Yes, that were a couple of years later though, wasn't it? In Star Trek 4. And we see the Ghostbusters have computers, don't they, in their thing, but they haven't got them in the New York Public Library yet, it seems. Anyway, so where were we? Right, so that freaks her out, so she goes running and all scared, and then she runs round the corner and sees something. Don't know what she sees, we find out in a bit. What books is on the shelves, do we know? Is it, can't really make it out. It's probably not important, but I wonder if they're just random books or if they were placed there deliberately. I don't know. But there you go. She sees something, and then we get to the logo. Here it is. Diggity-diggity-dee-dee. Ghostbusters. Now, is it two words? Ghost space busters, or is it Ghostbusters? Because that's one word, isn't it? On there, Ghostbusters. About on the album. It's all one word on Ghostbusters on the album. Look, Ghostbusters. But we've got it over two lines there. Should have a little hyphen, shouldn't they, to show that the word is broken in half. Anyway, and another statue. I don't know what that statue is. I bet Wingrace does. But is it Julius Caesar? I've no idea. And there's somebody with a lightsaber down there. Look, to get ready to practice. Anyway, right. So, we're at this is the university, innit? Don't ask me what they call it. I can't remember the name of the university. It'll be in here. Just bear with me. Columbia University, of course, that's it. Columbia University. On Broadway and 116th Street. We see the outside. We see the inside as well. They filmed inside it as well. Right. Oh, what am I doing? Go on, that's it. Right, so here we go. Weaver Hall, Department of Psychology. I don't think that's real. I think that's a made-up name. But this was filmed apparently inside Columbia University, inside one of their labs. So they've got the door there with Venkman burning hell. But he says the kids love him. But later on, but obviously they don't. Or this one particular person who wrote that doesn't. Apparently they originally wanted in the original script, it was like some sexual reference on there. I don't know what. But Ivan Reitman said he wanted the film to be more family friendly. But it's not a kids' film. Definitely not a kids' film. As I said, certificate 12 in the UK because of sexual references. Anyway, so here we go. Right, it's doing the famous... I used to know what these cards were called and I've forgotten. You used to get a magazine called Unexplained back in the, I think it was 70s, maybe early 80s. The Unexplained in it, and it told it there was a thing all about these cards, and I forgot what they call them. Never mind. It's to test psychic power, and they're testing these two kids. Him, do they have names? I know she's called Jennifer, but does he have a name? Let's have a look. Female student, played by Jennifer Runyon. No, just female student and male student. The male student is Stephen Tash, so we'll call him Stephen because they call her Jennifer, so they use her real name. So this is Stephen, good name with a V, obviously. And they're testing them on with the cards, and every time he gets a wrong answer, it gives him a little electric shock. It is after based on a real experiment where they did a similar thing, but the experiment wasn't really about psychic ability. It was about how willing somebody would be to receive electric shocks and also give people electric shock. But anyway, every time he gets a wrong answer, he's giving him electric shocks. So he says, right, so it's Jennifer's go now, and she guesses, she says, is it a star? And she won't far off, to be completely honest. Hang on, I've turned subtitles off, I think I haven't. Yes, I have. And then back on. I forgot what I was saying now. She says it was a star, and she said, actually, that was the card before, so would that count? But anyway, I think she says a star. Yes, and he says, very good, that's great. And then we see, it's not a star, it's a circle. And she gets one that's close. I would class it as a near miss. So I think she's psychic, is Jennifer. But obviously, it doesn't electrocute Jennifer. Now it's Stephen's turn again, and he goes, circle. It's close, and it's a square. So it gives him electric shock, and he loses his gum this time, I think, but definitely wrong. Hang on. Here we go. Gives him his electric shock. And his gum falls out. Yeah. Hilarious comedy. What's happened to Jenny? She's got a right scar there, hasn't she, on her lip? There, look. Wonder what happened there. Anyway. Right, so go again. She says, is it a I think she says figure 8. And he says, yes, you're right. But if you look, I think it's this. Yes, she says figure 8. And then he says, are you sure you can't see? And all that. But if you look, it's a plus sign, a cross, I suppose you'd say. And in my book, if I were doing this, I think that's actually not far off. Because if you get a cross sign, just join them up and join that up, you make a figure 8, don't you? So that'd be a near miss. That'd go down as like a half a tick. But still giving an electric shock. But anyway. Right, so he's saying you're not cheating, are you? Is all that stuff. Good old Bill Murray, by the way, as Dr. Venkman. Originally written for John Belushi, who unfortunately passed away, but I don't think the film would have been as good. I've never been a huge John Belushi fan, to be completely honest. I'm not a Blues Brothers fan, but I did like Animal House, but I haven't seen that for, I don't know, since I was young. Anyway. Right, so Stephen's turn. He gets it right this time. He says, well, actually, he doesn't. He says a couple of wavy lines. There's actually 3, so maybe that's why it's wrong. But he says it's just not your day, is it? So he gives him going to give him electric shock as well, and he's had enough. He says, there you go, I've had enough of this. And he says, well, you volunteered, we're paying you. He says, yeah, but I didn't know you were going to be giving me electric shocks. What are you trying to test anyway? And he says, I'm testing the effect. And he does that. He does like, to look all, there you go, all academic. I'm testing the effect of negative reinforcement on ESP ability. Anyway, bacon was the correct answer. Bacon is always the correct answer, unless you're Jewish or a Muslim. But then it's not. But anyway. It says, the effect, I'll tell you the effect, is pissing me off. It says, you can keep your $5, I've had it, and out he goes. So Stephen storms out. So Venkman goes basically going to seduce one of his students. Which is not on, really, is it? This film wouldn't get made today. So he's going to ask her out to dinner and all that. And but then in comes Dan Aykroyd. Here he goes. This is it. This is definitely it. By the way, I've never looked at all the stuff going on in the background. Got radioactive materials there and laser light there. So I think they've got all the gadgets and bits and bobs to build, their proton packs and laser containment system and stuff like that. They've got everything there, haven't they? So I wonder how much they stole from the university. I don't know. Don't get me started on girls hooking up with their college professors. Okay. That sounds like a very specific grievance. Anyway. So he's come and interrupted Venkman, hasn't he? So Venkman's not happy. And I forgot his bloody name. Ray Stantz, Dan Aykroyd. The writer of the movie. The heart of the Ghostbusters. Ray is the heart, Egon is the brain, Venkman, Peter is the mouth, and I don't know what Winston is. Let's just say, I know 3 different times it happened with people I know. I've never known it happen. Anyway. Right, where were we? Oh, I tells him that about the incident at the New York Public Library. And he says, Egon's over there already taking readings, took PKE valences, whatever a valence is, I've no idea. He said, buried the needle. So he says, you're coming with us on this one. So he goes and he says, goes over to Jennifer and tells her, can you come back later? She goes, 8 o'clock. And he goes, I was just going to say, 8 o'clock. Because he's, a smarmy git, isn't he? Anyway, here they are at the library. Venkman obviously doesn't believe in the paranormal, even though he's part of Ray's paranormal group and all that, and does all this research. But obviously doesn't believe in any of it. So in they go. Here we are, actually in the library. And then get his introduction to Egon Spengler, played by Harold Ramis, the late Harold Ramis. So here he goes, he's going up, knocking on the table, going, Egon, and bangs a book down. That's why everybody looks round. And it says, oh yes, there's definitely something here, says to Ray, does Egon. And Egon's, obviously, Harold Ramis said he was told that Egon were like the Ghostbusters version of Mr. Spock, which is why he played it kind of emotionless for the most part. Never doesn't smile. Smiles about as much as Spock smiles, maybe a little upturn of the mouth, but never really smiles. Totally different to what the Egon we see in Ghostbusters 2, but anyway. And he says to him, Egon, this reminds me of the time you tried to drill a hole in your head, and he goes, that would have worked if you hadn't have stopped me. And I'm thinking, I wonder what he was trying to do. He's trying to release something from his brain. Because obviously, if you drill a hole in your head, you might not die. You might be all right. Depends how deep you go, doesn't it? Brain surgeons do it all the time. Anyway, so we were introduced to. I don't know who he's supposed to be, actually. It's called, just introduced. I'm Roger Delacourt, as though we're supposed to know who he is. I'm guessing he's the boss of the library. Head librarian, maybe, I don't know. So, anyway, they're going to talk to her. She is the librarian. Oh, we do find out a name, don't we? It says a name, doesn't it? Hang on. It does say a name, but I can't remember. But we'll get there. But she's saying, I don't remember seeing any legs, but it definitely had arms because it reached out for me. So I can't wait to get a look at this thing. And then Peter, being the psychologist of the group, asks her some questions. There we go. Says, you or any of your family being diagnosed schizophrenic, mentally incompetent? She says, my uncle thought he was St. Jerome. And I'd call that a big yes. Alice. Is that an actual actor's name? Actress's name? Yes, it is. They keep giving the characters their actual name. So there you go. She's called Alice. Alice. Who's Alice? Then he asks, are you habitually taking drugs, alcohol, whatever? He says, no. He says, I'm just asking. Are you, Alice, menstruating right now? This is probably might be the first of the big memes or sayings from the film, big quotes from the film, because Delacourt says, what does that have to do with it? Hang on. And he says, back off, man, I'm a scientist. So that'll be the first one, won't it? T-shirts with that on. But then they've got to go, it's on the move, they've got to go and find it. So they relocate to Los Angeles, down in the basement. They're having a look round there. We go, symmetrical book stacking. Apparently this was just a spur of the moment idea. This wasn't in the script. They just thought, right, let's just stack some books and we'll write this in. Because there is a lot of improv and ad-libbing in this film. But anyway. Right, so there you go, symmetrical book stacking. And like the Philadelphia mass turbulence of 1940. Is that a real thing? I've no idea. I don't know that one, but anyway. Oh, then another line. Listen, do you smell something? That's one I use a bit. Then we see Venkman going, like listening and smelling at the same time. And here we see the ectoplasm slime. So talk about telekinetic activity. And Egon wants a sample. So Venkman says, somebody blows your nose and you want to keep it. And this is first, what they said in the commentary, one take Bill. They just did this on the first take. And he wouldn't do it again. So he gets it in his eye and all that. There you go. Right, so anyway, they walk around this corner, and then this big bookcase falls down just spontaneously. And says, that's never happened before. But then they carry on. Here's this, is it a PKE meter? Is that what they call it? That, what they have now is an EM detector in modern ghost hunting, wouldn't it? But they've got the PKE meter with the little arms that come up at the side when spooks are about. We also saw it in They Live. If you watch They Live, John Carpenter's They Live, they use one of them. I think it's been in another film as well, but I can't remember what. Or maybe a TV show, I can't remember, but it's been in something else. Anyway, they get round the corner and they see her. The ghost of the librarian, or the ghostly librarian, reading a book, reading a real book. She's the ghost and all, see-through, but the book is a real one that she's looking at. And they say, oh, it's real. A full torso vaporous apparition, or a full, whatever he calls it. A full torso apparition, and it's real. So obviously it's the first time they've seen anything like this, and they don't know what to do. So they decide... Dumpty's got to go and talk to her, so they send Venkman out because he's the talkative one, and they're taking pictures. Look, by the way, Harold Ramis's hair. They've both got massive hair for some reason, tall hair. Anyway, so he's going talking to her, and she just shushes him. Going to show us a bit of a close up. There we go. She shushes him. There we go. Get a better look. The real book, but it's not just floating there. They actually rotoscoped a real book in, a non-translucent book. So that's an optical effect as well. Who plays the ghost, by the way? I don't know if it says. Left all cast and crew. Library ghost. I'm looking for if it's there. If it's there, Ruth Oliver plays the library ghost. So there we go. So anyway, so she just shushes him. He's talking to her. She just shushes him. Says, "Okay, that's not the usual stuff's not working." So he says, "I know what to do. Stay close, stay close." We get his first big scare of the film. Because there's some bits in this film that'd be scary for kids. This bit in particular. So he says, "Get her." Do exactly as I say. For God's sake, bloody things. You get ready, get her. And go, there we go. It turns into a monster for some reason. I don't know why. The ghosts in this are, cartoony kind of ghosts, I suppose. Mostly. By the way, done by Boss Film. They wanted ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, to come in and do the effects, but they were busy doing another film, a Steven Spielberg film apparently, and I think it was 1984. Oh, probably Indiana Jones, wasn't it? They're probably doing one of them. Probably. So they couldn't do it, but I forgot his name. What's he called now? I'm going to have to look him up now. Tell you, my bloody brain. Richard, I think it's Richard somebody or other. Just bear with me. Come on, special effects. Not special effects, visual effects. What's it saying? I'm going to have to look it up, aren't I? Because I can't remember. Windgrace is screaming at me. Boss Film Studios. Richard Edlund, that's the fella. Richard Edlund. I couldn't remember his name. Richard Edlund wanted to leave ILM, and he did. And basically, Columbia Pictures, Coca-Cola, whatever you want to call them, fronted him $5 million to start up his own visual effects company. So, and the first thing they worked on were Ghostbusters. So there we go. So there she's been all scary, scaring a generation of kids. So they all go running out. Into a John Woo film. Look, with all the pigeons flying about, and he's running after them. So they, did you see it? What was it? So we'll get back to you. Do they? I don't know. We never know if they get back to him. We don't know if they deal with the librarian ghost ever. Do they go back when they become Ghostbusters and deal with her? No idea. Doesn't tell us. Excuse me, getting a bit of a frog in my throat. Anyway. Right, so they're heading back to the university, and there's mocking him, saying, "Get her, that was your whole plan." And but Egon's in the background doing some calculations, and he says from these readings it's worked out that there's a good chance that they could catch and indefinitely hold a ghost. What does he say? It says it here, doesn't it? There we go. An excellent chance of catching and holding a ghost. And then so he's impressed, and he gives him a there you go. He says, I'm going to take back some of the things I've said about you, and he gives him a bar of chocolate. Because he's kind of childlike, to be honest, is Egon. Innocent and childlike. And I wonder if he's on the spectrum. I've wondered that. He's amazing, he's a genius, but gives him a what they call them, a Nestle Crunch bar, whatever they call them. So there we go. And later on we see him, they're drinking beers. He's drinking a Coca-Cola, is Egon. We see all the others smoking, but Egon doesn't smoke in this film. None of them smoke in Ghostbusters 2. But anyway, that's by the by. Right, so they get back into the university, into their lab, and they go, "Hey, Dean Yeager!" He's all all excited, his Ray. But Dean Yeager, they're booting him out of the university. And this is where we hear I think it's the Laura Branigan song. On this fella's headphones. So we're in the movie long enough to be added onto the soundtrack album. I wish I could. Hang on. I'll be able to read if I get a bloody torch. With my eyes. I think it's Laura. There we go. Hot Night by Laura Branigan. I think it's that we can hear. Could be wrong. Anyway, so there we go. There we go. You have to vacate these premises immediately. So they're taking everything off them. But I'm guessing that maybe they managed to steal some stuff. Maybe. We'll see. But, right, so they're being booted out of the university, so they're going to set up for business for themselves. But they don't know where they're going to get the money, because Venkman says, they were destined to get thrown out of this dump, but to go into business for themselves. but they need to get some money, so they get money from the house that I don't know how much they got. The house that that Ray was born in. I don't understand stuff like mortgages and all that. I live in a rented house. Buying a house baffles me. I don't get it. And I don't even know what he's talking at 19%. I don't know what he's talking about. But did he sell the house back to the back? I don't know how it works. But and we don't even know how much money they got. But the interest alone, I suppose you could work it out, couldn't you, from the interest? Over 5 years, it'd be $95,000. So I suppose you could work out, if you knew what the interest rates were in 1984, I suppose you could work out how much you got for it, but I don't know. Shall we look? I wonder if you could look on, you can search on on Google. How much did Ray Stantz get for his house in Ghostbusters? Question mark. They're asking on Reddit. There's questions on Reddit. Let's have a look. How much was Ray Stantz's third mortgage? Does anybody answer it? I have no idea. What does that say? No, that doesn't answer it. What else? Doesn't say there either. But they must get a fair bit of money. But I don't know how much. Enough to rent the firehouse and build the ecto containment system and the proton packs and hire a secretary and get all the equipment in and all that stuff. And spend $4,800 plus the repair fees on the car. So I don't know. So they've got enough for that. Anyway, spoilers. What is? Anyway, so here we go. So they've got the money, so they're going to set up in a minute. Here they are checking out the there it is, the firehouse, which is a real firehouse. I'll tell you where it is. I suppose I bet Windgrace has been there. Now then, where is it? It's the Hook and Ladder Company, number 8, on 14 North Moore Street, Manhattan, New York City, New York, USA. The outside. The inside is filmed in Los Angeles. There we go. The interiors for this are filmed at Fire Station 23 on 225 East 5th Street, Los Angeles. There we go. But apparently it's obviously it's still there. It's a bit of a tourist attraction, but I think it's still a firehouse, a working firehouse. I think on the inside they have the Ghostbusters 2 sign, but it's on the inside. Apparently. Right, so here we are, checking out the firehouse, and they all think it's totally inadequate and it's rubbish and they can't use it and it's metal, the building's falling down and all. So they must spend a lot of money doing this place up, because Ray loves it, because it's his money, remember. So he loves it and he wants them to move in right away. So I says, all right, we'll take it. Right, so now we're going to meet the lovely Sigourney Weaver. She really wanted to do this film, apparently, because she'd done Alien, and then she'd done a few other films, Year of Living Dangerously, and some other stuff. Was this before or after Gorillas in the Mist? I can't remember. She's done mostly serious films. She wanted to do a comedy, so that's why she really wanted this, and she went and auditioned. She agreed to do an audition, and they told her, you'll turn into a dog later on in the film. Hang on. Spoilers. So she auditioned, she jumped up on the couch and made dog noises and did all that. And they said, well, you won't actually be doing that bit. That'll be an effect. But whatever, you've got the part. So here we are, we're at Dana Barrett's apartment, and we see the dog that she's going to turn into. It's there, looking down at her, or whatever. I presume this will be Zool, which is what we're going to see. The building was actually, it was a real building. Again, like I said, lots of real places. 55 Central Park West, that's where it is. And they changed I think they changed the address in the film. I think they do mention it in the film, but they slightly change it. But everybody knew where it was. So anyway, so here she comes, she's arriving in this taxi. There, that taxi there, pulling up. That's going to be Dana. So out she gets with her shopping in the, movies only brown paper shopping bag. She nearly gets run over. She just walks across the street into traffic because she's mental. Look, she just walks out into traffic. Look, there we go. Car honks. Car honks. Well, is it going to say in the subtitles? I know it did on the Blu-ray. Oh, it did. It said car honks. Anyway, so in she goes. As I said, this is the New York location. Later on, they recreate all the front of that building in Los Angeles for a scene. But anyway, here she comes. And now we're going to meet another one of the main characters, Rick Moranis, as... oh, God, man, I'm bloody blanking. Louis Tully. So here he comes. Popping out. Every time she walks down the corridor, it seems like any time anybody comes down the corridor, he must be by the door listening. Oh, excuse me, I've got a dry throat. I don't know what's the matter with me today. Anyway, every time somebody passes his door, he pokes his head out to see who it is. So anyway, so here he is. And he's obviously got the hots for Dana, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't have? But anyway. So she basically fobs him off. And he says to her, you left your TV on. So to stop people complaining that she'd left the TV on loud, apparently, he turned his TV on really loud, so everybody would think it were their TVs that were wrong or whatever. But anyway. So, and then this is where we learn he's always locking himself out of his room. Anyway, so in she goes. She's on the 22nd floor, apartment 6. There we go. The ghost put enough money to make a TV commercial, and this is funny because you see Egon checking his spot to his mark, checking his marks. He's going to show it. Here he comes. There he goes, checking his mark. Look. That's acting lingo, marks. Anyway, so anyway, she's arrived, and as you see, the TV's on. She says, I don't remember leaving it on. So spooky stuff's going on in her apartment. She lives in a corner apartment. That doesn't look very good, does it? I mean, later on we see, obviously it's a set. Obviously it's a set. And they're using what they call a translight or whatever for the scenery behind, and that looks rubbish, that, doesn't it? That doesn't look too bad through that window there on the right. Can you see my mouse pointer? Is it there? Yes, you can. But that looks rubbish, doesn't it? But later on we see it and it looks really good. But anyway, TVs always turn themselves on, don't they? I suppose nowadays they could do, but it's more common nowadays, because nowadays we tend to just put TVs in standby, don't we? With the remote and that. I suppose technically they could turn themselves back on, but in in the olden days, the 80s, there were big buttons on tellies, weren't there? Well, they were in the UK. You probably still had remotes then. You had TV remotes probably back in the 50s in America. We didn't have them. But anyway, where were we? Anyway, so she's home. Here we go. There, still doing their thing. Ghostbusters. And she turns off the telly. We get a phone number. Oh, for God's sake, we do honest. We're ready to believe you. And there it is. 555-2368. But apparently, I've got notes. Now then, here we go. In the middle of the film's initial release, to keep interest going, Ivan Reitman ran a trailer that was basically the commercial the Ghostbusters used in the movie, but the 555 number was replaced with a 1-800 number, allowing people to actually call in. Callers got a recorded message of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd saying something to the effect of, "Hi, we're out catching ghosts right now." They got 1,000 calls per hour, 24 hours a day, for several weeks, so it probably made them a lot of money. There we go. Anyway, Windgrace, still on about TVs. I had the knob TV. You had to hold the antenna so my dad could watch the original series, Those Old Scientists, in slightly better quality. I bet he's like there. Windgrace, stand there with your arms like that. So you can't see me because I'm behind Windgrace, but never mind. And it took like 10 minutes to warm up before the picture would come on. Yes, you could look in the back of old tellies and watch the valves warming up and glowing. In the old days, proper tellies. There were actually a TV series, a science fiction TV series when I was younger, called... I can't remember. It was written by Nigel Neal of Quatermass fame, and it began with V, and I forgot what it's called. I'm going to have to look it up. Bear with me. And I used to like it. And that was about aliens coming to Earth. Just a minute, bear with me. Where is it? Why is it not showing it there? Let's look on Wikipedia. It popped in my head then. Oh dear. Just bear with me. Anyway, we're about... hang on, gone too far. Come on, tell us, show us. Kinvig, that was it. It didn't start with V, it started with K. But it's got a V in it. Kinvig. And that were about a man that used to repair old TVs with valves and stuff in. And aliens came to his house for some reason. An alien in the guise of a beautiful woman. I can't remember who played her. Like Prunella G or somebody like that. Who's been in James Bond film? Or a James Bond film. Was it? Let me see. No, it was. Yeah, it was Prunella G. Oh, that was good. I remember the name, everybody. Anyway, her spaceship was powered with valves, so only he could repair her ship. Anyway, it was alright. I suppose it'd be rubbish if we watched it today. It might be on YouTube, check it out, I don't know. It might not be. Anyway, back to the film, where were we? Rambling. Oh, she's going into the kitchen. Here she goes into the kitchen. Here we go. Getting the stuff out of the bag. The famous scene. We're moving on the Stay Puffed marshmallows. You can see the Stay Puffed marshmallow man there. I wonder why it's showing that. Don't know. And the eggs. Don't know. Grade AA eggs. There just says eggs on the carton. But anyway, it pops open. And you don't... I don't know about America, but in the UK, white, hen's eggs are really rare. I've not seen one. I don't know, maybe not ever. I don't know, not since I was a kid. Anyway, they all seem to be brown these days. Is there a reason for this? Don't know. Anyway, the eggs basically start shaking like that, and then they start breaking open and cooking. There we go, cooking on the tabletop, countertop, should I say. I don't know how they did this. I don't know. They didn't really say in the commentary, or it didn't really show it in the behind the scenes. I know it's a hot plate. Countertop's really hot. But I don't know how they got the eggs to break out like that. I don't know. Did they just, was there somebody underneath blowing air or something, or prodding? I don't know. I don't know how they did it. But they did really cook, and they said this countertop did get really hot. So obviously the Stay Puft marshmallow, they must be fire resistant. It's not just normal plastic, or it'd all melt, wouldn't it? Because the eggs really are cooking. Anyway, Windrush says, white eggs are common. They also bleach them if you buy them, but not in the UK. They're not. Not in the UK. They're not. If you go to supermarkets, stuff like that, get regular hen's eggs. They're always brown. I'll show you. Hang on. Right, Buggy, I'm going to show you. Just bear with me. Yeah, dear. See, our eggs are, that colour. Hang on, there we go. There's my camera. There we go. Brown, like that. Very rare you see a white hen's egg. I can't remember last time I saw one. You can get like goose eggs and duck eggs and stuff like that are white. But hen's eggs are generally brown, like that. Like that. Right, I'm back after a little sojourn into why UK eggs are brown, but apparently American eggs are white. Anyway, right, so she's obviously shocked at that, and then she hears a noise from the refrigerator. There you go. She looks over, she looks in, and this is where we see it's not the best effect in the world, is it? But basically, it's the top of her building, essentially. In her fridge. Why? Dunno. But it just is. And we see Zool. There's Zool. The gatekeeper. There it is. By the way, this is a stop motion effect here. Some good stop motion effects with the what they call them, devil dogs, or whatever they call them. Obviously, we'll see it later, but that's obviously a puppet. And it says Zool for some reason. I like this effect over most CG. Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the effects in this actually look like computer-generated effects. The ghosts are coming out, but obviously I don't think they are. But anyway, yes, it has weight and character. Yes, the clouds and stuff look good. I'm really talking about. Where are we? Hang on. Go back again. Just the way it's just splattered on. It's just stuck on. There's no like fuzziness around the edge. If they'd blurred it a bit round the edges, or maybe had some of the clouds going in front of this pyramid or whatever, but maybe they didn't have time, because you've got to remember this film, I think they had a year from getting the go-ahead to start making the film, and Columbia said, yes, you can make this film. They had 1 year from the date it was in cinemas. So unbelievable, really. So, applaud them for that. Anyway, Justin 34 here. Hello everyone, hope everyone is well. Those effects were top notch in 1984. Yes, well, yeah. But, I don't, the effect's good, it's just the what they call it? They just basically stuck that over the top of it, that's what I'm trying to say. Looks like 80s rock set. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Oh dear. Anyway, so she sees Zool, right? So she slams the fridge door and screams and runs out. Anyway, then we cut to got the new sign up. It's cool, innit? Spent a lot on that, didn't they? They get a better sign later. But and then Ray arrives with the car, which, don't ask me what it is. They said in the commentary what sort of car it is, but I can't remember. If Sci-Fi Quest were here, he'd just tell us, wouldn't he? Let's see if it says on Wikipedia. Have a look. Filming. Right, car. I don't bloody know. I don't know. But they only had one of them. It's confusing. In the commentary, they said they only had one of them, but in the Popcast guys did a great YouTube video about the Ghostbusters franchise, and I put a link in the description for that. They said they had 3, so I don't know if that was 3 for both films or just for the first one. I don't know, but in the commentary they said they only had 1, and it broke down. What we're going to put? Yes, Ghostbusters original car. Right, it was a 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor ambulance. So there we go. That's what it was. Right. Here we go. Told somebody to tell me. It was a Cadillac. Or Ecto one, yes. Yeah. One in Ghostbusters 2, wasn't it Ecto 3? I'm wondering now. I don't know. Because they had Ecto 2 in the cartoon, didn't they? Anyway, don't know. We're not doing Ghostbusters 2, we're doing Ghostbusters 1. Anyway, he's got it, so he said, I've got the car, everyone can relax. It needs a bit of work, and he goes through this long laundry list of all the work that he's doing on it. Only 4,800. So he's like, Venkman goes, they're running out of money. What's Ray Park doing in this film? I know it's not, but anyway. Right, so this is where we meet Janine Melnitz, played by Annie Potts. Sandra Bernhardt was originally offered the part of Janine, but she turned it down. So we got Annie Potts instead. And she plays a good part, very dry and all that. Completely different to what we see in Ghostbusters 2. Well, he is a phantom. Yes, well, part of a phantom menace. Anyway, so he's saying to her, any phone calls, any messages, any customers? He keeps saying, no, Dr. Venkman, in a New York accent. Anyway, so he says, don't stare at me, get them Google eyes or whatever, bug eyes. Oh, and then we get another entrance from from Egon, comes out from under the desk. What's he doing down there? I'm guessing he's wiring up the computer. But they're going to try and do a romance between Janine and Egon, but it never went anywhere, did it? And she ended up, in the second one, spoilers, she ended up with Lewis, didn't she? But like I said, she was like a totally different character in the second film. But anyway. I wish my computer setup was that nice, says Win Grace. Dear. There's probably a lot of money there back in 1984. Because they cost thousands and thousands of dollars, didn't they, the computers back then? Anyway. So she's given what she likes to do. She says, I bet you like to read. She says, I like to read a lot. I bet you like to read too. And there's another thing that I put on a t-shirt, print is dead. And she says, I find that very interesting. I read a lot myself. And I also play racquetball. There, do you have any hobbies? And then another quotable line. There we go. I collect spores, moulds, and fungus. That's not an impression, by the way, of him. They overhauled her character partway through the animated series, and it carried over. Yeah, I thought so. I never used to watch the real Ghostbusters, but I know they took a lot from the animated series, like Slimer being a good guy and all that, didn't they? And them calling the car Ecto 3 because Ecto 2 were in the cartoon. I think, JMS, J. Michael Straczynski, talked about it. Did he? Did he work on it? I don't know. Anyway, right, what's the face? Dana's arrived. See, she is. We get a shot of Ray working on the car. There he is, with a cig in his mouth, and he looks up. Oh, for God's sake. There he goes. There we go. He's always got a cig in his mouth. I said, they all smoke, even Winston, they all smoke apart from Egon. But as I said, in the second film, none of them smoke. Coca-Cola, look, Coca-Cola cans. I forgot to look around. We're supposed to be on a Coca-Cola hunt, aren't we? Anyway. Right, so she introduces herself. Is this a Ghostbusters office? Yes, can I help you? She says, well, I don't know. But then Peter pops up and he runs over here, jumps over the whatever this is called, the door. I don't know what and nearly trips himself up. Hang on, let's have it because you can hear it. Let's have a listen. You can hear the click because he just catches the top of the whatever it is. There. There was like, if he'd gone down, he'd have probably died. But anyway, so here he is. He introduces himself. I'm Peter Venkman. So he says, well, I've got something weird going on, basically. So, right, so I presume they take her upstairs to their lab, and they stick these things on her. And we get a look. We see this again later on. It's obviously, scanning her head or whatever, and we're getting a look. I'm guessing they were sounded like Curlian photography, that sort of thing. But so we're showing that she is Dana. Justin says, but they changed her character a bit. They did with Janine, didn't they? Yes, they did. He almost face planted. He did, yes. Anyway, so we see she's got these things on her head. There we go. And for some reason, in the commentary, Ivan Reitman was saying, in real life, I don't know if he thought this was real or if it was just joking. It must be joking because he didn't know it wasn't. That these things on her head is making that picture on the TV screen appear. In real life, we're saying, we did, because we did it again later on with Lewis, and off camera we put it on one of the puppets of the devil dog, but that's obviously not true. Anyway, so just describe what's going on. And she said, a voice said Zool, and then she ran out of her apartment, and that was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever. 2 or 3, I've forgotten. 2 days ago. She hasn't been back to her apartment since. So I presume she's been in a hotel, I presume. Anyway, so Egon says, well, she believes she's telling the truth. And she says, well, of course I'm telling the truth. But why? Is he going to... Hang on a minute. He nearly blinds Peter. Oh, we've got past that bit. Oh, no, there we go. But they come up with all sorts of wild and wacky explanations, erased memories in a hidden subconscious and stuff like that. What did they say exactly? Past life experience intruding on present times, erased memories stored in the collective unconscious, or clairvoyance or telepathic contact either, or it could be Q or some other alien force. But she says, I don't believe in that. And then Peter jumps up and says, I don't believe in that either. But we do have some standard things we do in a case like this. And they suggest, check out the structural details in the building. And then we could also look at, they talk about these books that I don't think are real books. There we go, Spate's Catalogue. I always thought it was spelled Speightt apostrophe S. But it says Spates there. Tobin's Spirit Guide. So I bet somebody's made, like on Etsy or whatever. I bet you can get like Tobin's Spirit Guide on there. If it's not real, I don't think it's real. Anyway, so no Coca-Cola in this scene that I could see, was there? But there's a Budweiser. They like the Budweiser in this, by the way. But that's not part of the Coca-Cola company. I'm just going to look round now in the background, see if I can see any Coca-Cola cans. Got to be one somewhere. Can't see one. Yeah, damn them. Anyway, so it says, well, I'll go and check out, Miss Barrett, or check out her apartment, and so obviously know that he's smitten. They've got to take Miss Barrett back to her apartment and check her out. Check out Miss Barrett's apartment. There we go. So, and then he does this, and is he calling himself a knobhead? Here we go. Oh, is he going like calling himself a knobhead? I don't know. Always wanted that Tobin Spirit Guide. It'd be cool, wouldn't it, if it was a real thing? Is it a real thing? So we'll check for that as well. I'm going to be here all bloody night doing all this Googling. Tobin's Spirit Guide. You can buy it on eBay and Amazon. So has somebody written it? Yes, they have. Tobin's Spirit's on Amazon. Tobin's Spirit Guide, official Ghostbusters edition. So I imagine it just talks about the stuff in Ghostbusters a bit. An immersive in-world guide based on the fictional book mentioned in the 1984 Ghostbusters film. You can buy it used in hardcover for $22.79. It's a bit pricey, isn't it? It's a bit pricey. Anyway, so there we go. It says, hang on, what I'm looking at here. You can get it on eBay for 15 quid. Anyway, so you could buy it if you wanted. Amazing. T. Wingress says you can also get the Handbook of the Dead, or whatever it's called, from Beetlejuice. Oh, the recently deceased, yes. This movie is such a part of my childhood. I had 3 other brothers, and we knew this film by heart, line for line. Well, I wouldn't say I did, but I've watched it a lot. It is a cool film. Recently deceased. Yes, that's what the one from Beetlejuice, isn't it? There we go. Right, so we see the building. It's based on a real building on Central Park West, but the top of it is not real. And obviously that's a matte painting. And apparently they went looking. They got like books and stuff on. Apparently in New York, there's lots of old buildings, old skyscrapers and stuff like that. They have these weird stuff on top of them, like look like temples and all that stuff. So they went looking round and they found one that they went with. I imagine they're mixed and matched, and came up with the top of this building. God knows what this is, but anyway, I presume the sky beam comes out of that later. Maybe they would have one these days, a sky beam. Anyway, so they're heading back to Dana's apartment. Here we go. So in he comes. He goes in first, checks the closet, does the old ding. And I'm sure I've read that somewhere, that ghosts hate that, because it says they hate this. This is, I bet Dan Aykroyd put that in, and I'm sure I've seen somewhere that ghosts don't like it when you do that on the piano. Don't know where I've seen it, but I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. Anyway, so he's going with his sniffer. The machine he's got is a sniffer. Yes. So he's going around with his sniffer. Apparently it's for detecting smells, like sulphurous smells or foul odours that may be connected with supernatural activity, apparently. But there he goes, going. Before they filmed this, they had some equipment on the table, and they said to Bill Murray, just pick whichever you want to go with. And he said, well, this one looks the funniest because it makes the funny noise when they do the squeegee thing. So he went with that. Right, so he's doing that. He says, what is that? It's technical. It's one of our toys. I don't think he really knows what it's doing. But he checks in there. He says, that's the bedroom, but nothing ever happened in there. What a crime. And this is where she says, you're not like a scientist. You're more like a game show host. And that's a bit hard to mind. But apparently the original script was used car salesman, and she improved the game show host bit. So there we go, and they kept it in. Right, so he goes and checks the kitchen. There we go. These are the eggs, and he's looking round. So he goes to check the fridge and says, "Oh my God, look at all the junk food and Coca-Cola. 2 cans of Coca-Cola and Perrier. Oh, another Budweiser. Look." Obviously, they had a deal with I forgot the name of the Budweiser, Anhalt's Busch or whatever they call it. I don't know. He says, "Look at all the junk food." He says, "No, this wasn't here. There were creatures writhing about and flames, and it said Zool." He says, "Well, I'm not picking up anything now." And she says, "Are you sure you're using that thing properly?" And he goes, I think so." He says, "I'm sure there's no animals in there, not alive ones anyway." He don't say that. I always say that. I was going, not alive ones. He says, "Well, maybe there is a monster in my fridge, or I'm just going crazy." I said, "I don't think you're crazy." And she says, I love her face here. There we go. That makes me feel so much better. Right, so he goes for broke. I was only combining it with Evil Dead, or the Handbook of the Dead. I bet you can get the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. I bet you can get that as well. On eBay. I bet you can. I bet you can get the H.P. Lovecraft Necronomicon as well. I bet you can. You can get anything these days, can't you? Anyway, so he says, "I'm madly in love with you." So she throws him out. Says, "Will you please leave?" So he says, "I know. I'll prove myself to you. I'll solve your problem." And you'll say, Pete Venkman is a guy that can get things done. There we go. So, right. So, off he goes. So he says, "Fine, okay." Just wants him out. Then as he comes out, obviously Lewis has heard somebody in the corridor, so he comes out and he sees it's a strange man. It's a little bit sad, is this bit? It makes me feel sad because he don't make eye contact. He goes all shy. Look, oh, somebody he doesn't know. So anyway, so a little bit sad. Poor Lewis. But anyway, right. Josh Temple probably made one bound in deerskin. He probably would. With a big harpoon hole in it. Anyway, back to the Ghostbusters HQ. They got a full stop there. Ghostbusters full stop. Is it Ghostbusters TM? I don't know. Anyway, right. Oh, here we go. There we go. Right. So apparently they've run out of money because he's saying should take Dana out to dinner. Says, well, I'll get some money from the petty cash, and they said, well, this feast is represents the last of the petty cash, so they've run out of money. Egon's working on something. Looks like what do they call it? A positron thrower from the proton pack. That's what the gun is, isn't it? Yes, I meant to mention that and I forgot. Lewis was going to be John Candy, and he was going to be it was his idea, wasn't it? Yes. They originally wanted John Candy as Lewis Tully, which is baffling to me, but anyway. And it came, I think it was written like Rick Moranis probably played it, but for some reason, John Candy wanted to do it in a German accent and have German Shepherd dogs with him for some weird reason. And they said, well, no, but there's enough dogs in the film already. And anyway, and he turned it down, and Rick Moranis got the part, and I think he either wrote a letter to John Candy thanking him, or he just publicly thanked him in some other way. I don't know, but he did thank John Candy for passing on the part. So anyway, so yes, John Candy. That's John Belushi. We're going to be Venkman. John Candy. We're going to be Lewis Tully, and Eddie Murphy. We're going to be Winston. And Sandra Bernhard were going to be Janine. Anyway, right, so, see, they're drinking Budweiser, and, hang on, where are we? Go back again, there we go. And Egon's drinking Coca-Cola, so he doesn't drink alcohol, he doesn't smoke, he's a good man, is Egon. But he works at the dining table. Justin says, love Rick in this, but John would have been interesting also. I've never been a John Belushi fan, to be completely honest. I'm not much of a Bill Murray fan, to be completely, if I'm totally honest, but he's good in this. Pardon me. My favourite out of all the Ghostbusters crew is Harold Ramis. Dan Aykroyd gets on my nerves a bit. I like him as an actor. He's a good actor, and all that. But when you see him in interviews, it does me head in. I don't know. He says he's on the spectrum and that, which is why he gets a bit hysterical sometimes and a bit frantic, doesn't he? But and a bit obsessive about things. So it still does me head in. Anyway, right. So they've run out of money. So they think, right. But Janine's getting ready to go home. They get the call. So we've got one. She presses the button. The alarm. Hang on, I'm going to show it. Here we go. We've got one. She presses the alarm. It's a call. So off they go. Oh, and he does this weird. Hang on. Look, what does he do? Why does he do this? Ray goes down the pole. And then he goes. Oh, he's saying, come on. All right. This might be the first time I've watched it with subtitles. I always thought he just went, ah. But he says, come on. Anyway, right, so there we go. Did I mute that? I don't know. Yes, I did. So they all go down the pole. There we see Ecto 1. There we go. And off it goes in speeded up fashion. A little bit too fast, isn't it? But never mind. And the alarms, not the alarm, the siren, obviously it's not making that sound as it goes. That was added in post-production. Apparently it's the sound of a leopard roaring in reverse and speeded up, and I presume the pitch changed and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a leopard roar. Weird, but anyway. So off they go. Today we go to the Sedgwick Hotel, which is actually the Biltmore Hotel, I think. I think it's the Biltmore. Let's have a look at the location. Things I can't remember. Yes, Biltmore Hotel. In Los Angeles. Not in New York, this. It's in Los Angeles. In real life. I mean, in the film, it's supposed to be New York. So anyway, they arrive. Here we go. And there they are. And I think this is the Biltmore Hotel as well. But when they get up, in the corridors, that's set. But this is the Biltmore Hotel. And in the come. Hang on. I want to know who this woman is that walks by. Who is she? and why does Bill Murray give her a good? Why are they all leering at her? Because we don't get a good look at her, do we? I mean, yeah, fair enough. She might be slightly pretty. Is she famous? Is she a famous person? I don't know. Because there are famous people in this peppered about, and I forgot who. Is it in my notes? I can't remember. I don't think I put it in my notes. I started taking notes from the IMDb trivia, but it just went on too long and I ran out of time. Like we see with Debbie Gibbs. Is it Debbie Gibson? We see her in it, and who else is it? I can't remember. Oh, hang on. It says down here somewhere in the cameos. They're way down at the bottom. Ron Jeremy. Don't know who that is. Yeah, Debbie Gibson and Casey Kasem, but we hear his voice. No, he's playing himself in it. Anyway, so here we go. There, this is. I forgot his name. The actor. I know it when I see it. Just bear with me. There is he. Where are we? Michael Ensign, of course. Why? I should remember that, shouldn't I? Michael Ensign, as the hotel manager of the Sedgwick Hotel. He's been in lots of Star Trek. In fact, he's been in all the Star Treks apart from the original series. He's been in TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. He's been in at least one episode in all of them. But anyway. So here he is. So right, so they've arrived and they have to go up on the 13th floor? I think it's the 13th floor. Or is it the 12th floor? Can't remember. 12th floor. Because they don't do a 13th. They do 13th floors. I don't know. I suppose it depends, doesn't it? Some must do. Anyway, on the 12th floor. Because obviously they'll have a 13th floor, won't they? But do they just not call it that? I don't know, but anyway. 12th floor. So stuff's been going on. It doesn't say what. So anyway, so they're going to go and off they go. We handle these sorts of things all the time. Then he's waiting at the elevators. He says, "You're supposed to be some kind of cosmonaut." He says, "Somebody saw a cockroach up on 12. That must be some cockroach. Bite your head off, man." And he's got a name as well. Murray something is called. I can't remember. Murray. Where are you? Murray. Yes, Murray Rubin. Apparently he's a famous character actor. Anyway, so off they go into the elevator. He says, going up, he says, "I'll take the next one." This is another funny scene. No smoking. Because they all smoke. It's where we're told that, it says, "We haven't really tested this equipment." And he says, "I blame myself." And he says, "So do I." He says, "Well, what could go wrong?" Along those lines, "We're all wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on our back." He says, "Well, turn me on or switch me on." But for some reason, I don't know, do they have to be switched on there? Because we see them switch stuff on, with the proton thing thrower. But anyway, so he turned him on, and then the funny scene where he backs away as you hear the rumble of the nuclear accelerator powering up. Anyway, right, so they arrive on the 12th floor, and they all turn on. See, they turn on their stuff through the switch, not through the thing on the back. And apparently Ivan Reitman, when they were doing the sound for it, he kept saying, I want it more bassy, because it's really, bassy sound, isn't it? He wanted it more bassy, so anyway. Apparently, there were different versions of these proton packs. They had some that were made of rubber when they were being thrown about, but probably ones like this that have all the batteries and stuff in for the lights and all that. Weighed like £30 apparently. So there we go. Right, so right, so they arrive, and then this poor cleaning lady comes round the corner. They turn round, there we go, and shoot her cat. And apparently she wasn't too happy with the special effects man, or men, because they said, a bit of pyro go off. And it were a bit more than I think maybe they expected. I don't know, but it was. And her reaction was kind of like this, what the hell are you doing? And they apologise. Sorry, I thought you were somebody else. What's that there? Don't know. Now then, I'm going through. Hang on. No, I was watching this earlier, and I thought, did I see somebody behind her step into frame? Sorry, I've just got to. Maybe it was a real ghost. I've just got to keep looking at this. Come on, I'm sure I saw somebody behind us as they walk away. Come on, bloody get on with it. I bet I didn't. No, I didn't, did I? Imagining things again. I could have sworn I saw somebody step into frame. Dear. But I watched it on. I didn't watch this file, and I wasn't paying attention when I watched the Blu-ray. But earlier, when I watched the film, I watched it on Amazon because I've got an Amazon. So I don't know. Maybe it's slightly different. Anyway, or maybe I just imagined it. Anyway, so they all split up to do more damage. So here they are. And Ray sees a ghost for the first. Sees the first ghost, or the only. Sees the ghost. It's where we're introduced to Slimer. There he's singing his gob. I like how it hangs, hangs on his bottom lip. This is where we see Slimer, or Onion Head, as it was originally called. And for some reason, Dan wanted it to look like John Belushi, like this ghost. It's like the ghost of John Belushi. But this is where the connection with me comes along, because Slimer was designed by Steve Johnson. Not me. The special makeup effects wizard Steve Johnson. Not the crappy YouTuber failed novelist. Steve Johnson. Anyway, and said to him, I want it to look like John Belushi. And he said he'd already designed him and made the puppet and stuff like that. And they said, okay. So he went away and didn't do anything, didn't change it. And then when they came back, he says, right, I've done it. Looks just like John Belushi now. And they all went, yeah, it does. And they hadn't changed a thing on it. Anyway, and Josh Temple's here. So it's been so late, but never fear. Maddie's here, harpoon at the ready. I don't know how good a harpoons will be on Ghost, but we will see. They might do if they're iron. Because iron works on Ghost, apparently. It does in Supernatural, anyway, I think. Anyway, right, so he sees Slimer. There is Slimer's a ghost that just wants to eat and drink all the time. But obviously being a ghost, it can't. You can see there's stuff in its face from this trolley, but it's all just falling through. But anyway, hang on, where are we? So, there we go. Hang on. There we go. I like when his zigzagging there and it just drops off. Venkman! Anyway, so he tries to hold it himself. Because the proton pack, it's not a weapon, it's not a laser gun. I think it's supposed to be like a whip, innit? I suppose it's supposed to catch a ghost with it. It's like a lasso, innit? Anyway, great against Marshmallow Man. Yes, there would be, wouldn't it? Give ghost tetanus. Oh dear. If it's rusty, if it's rusty iron, it would, wouldn't it? Anyway, so he's going to try and get it with the positron thrower. There he goes. Misses. Just blows up everything. And Slimer goes, well, I wouldn't say running off, but doesn't run, does he? Floats off. Cool effects, by the way. I think the effects in this film are amazing. Sometimes Ivan Reitman in the commentary, he was saying, I didn't like this effect or that effect, and I think they're fine. For the most part, apart from the fridge bit. But anyway, here he goes through the wall. I love that effect. I think it's cool. I wonder if that's some smoke or whatever that they've filmed, and glowing smoke. I wonder if it's just an animation, because there is some like traditional animation in this film. No CG, because it's before CG. Well, it's not, but you know what I mean. It's before photorealistic CG. Anyway, whatever. And left some ectoplasm on the wall. And the trolley goes in as well. Egon's here. He gets. I don't know why he prods him, because he don't get a reading on the PKE meter, but he gives this fella a prod just in case. Right. Anyway, now it's Peter's turn. There we go. He sees Slimer. I like this little effect they've done around him. He's got like smoke or ectoplasm around him, and as he stops, it carries on. Look, there we go. So he gets on the radio to Ray. And he says, he's here. I can see him. He says, ugly little spud, isn't he? I think he can hear you, Ray. There you go. And then basically Slimer thinks, sod this, I'm going for him. So he goes and charges at Venkman. And this gets another T-shirt moment. He slimed me. There he is. He slimed me. I feel so funky. Anyway, let's make sure we're still going. Not getting copyrighted. No, we're still fine. We're fine. Right. So he's been slimed. And he gets on the radio to Egon. Venkman got slimed. Says, great, Ray. Save me some. It just went into a ballroom. So they're going down to the ballroom now. There we go. At the midnight buffet. So in they go. They said this is supposed to be like the Three Stooges, apparently. I don't know. But not Three Stooges. Marx Brothers. I don't know. But there you go. They'll take care of everything. Big smile. Is he smiling there? Look, he's smiling there, is Egon. Says he doesn't smile in this film. He's smiling there. Right, so he's got his macro binoculars. Copyright 1977, Lucasfilm Limited. And looks just like Norm. Doesn't look like it's like infrared or anything, but he can see. Apparently, Ivan Reitman didn't like this effect of Slimer going round the chandelier. Looks fine to me. What did he expect it to look like? I don't know, but it's up there. Look, he didn't like that. Don't know why. Right, there we go. Throw it. They throw it because it's a positron thrower. Anyway, so off they go. And bring the chandelier down. They're hearing all crashing and stuff. And says, go get the keys from, I don't know, Mr. Whatever. So they're wrecking the place already. Egon tells them, don't cross the streams. Because it's dangerous and, every atom in your body will explode at the speed of light. Total plutonic reversal. Says, okay, good safety tip, Egon, which we'll get back to later. Which is weird because apparently the original ending of the film, as it was originally scripted, didn't have that, crossing the streams. But anyway. Right, so there we go. They see, is there again, is Slimer, wanting to eat and drink because he's a gluttonous ghost. Obviously, he can't, it just falls straight through him, look. But maybe he can still taste it. Do you think he can still taste it? It just doesn't affect him. Lucky bug. So, they blast him. There we go. They're blasting him. And obviously not hitting him. But now they get him. There we go. They're smashing the place up and moving stuff over. Have I missed the... Hang on. They're moving the tables out of the way. Oh, no, it might be coming up. Moving the tables out of the way. Oh, there we go. I've just missed it, haven't I? Hang on, where are we? There we go. The flowers. There we go. Oh, for God's sake. He says, I've always wanted to do this. Wait. Where he does the, you get the tablecloth off, leaving everything on. And the flowers are still standing. Right, so they get the trap out. That's the trap that we just saw. There we go. That's what I'm on about. It's like a lasso, innit, where they trap the ghost. And it says, don't cross the streams. Oh, crikey. But, and yes, they've got to bring it down to the trap using the, whatever. They go, shorten your stream. I don't want my face burned off. And they don't really seem to know how to use it. But anyway, so he opens the trap. He says, don't look at the trap. So I looked at the trap, Ray. But it says, turn off your stream, as soon as I close the trap. So anyway, in it goes. It's in the trap. Hang on. There it goes. Pew! There you see him going. Look, there he goes. Slimer's in the trap. And cool. So that wasn't such a chore. So now they come out. Here we go. Open the door, but out they come. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Apparently they did several goes at this with different sayings, and this was the one that won. The take that won. I don't know what the others were. I don't know. Maybe it's in the deleted scenes on here. I don't know. I didn't check them. But anyway. Right, so this is where they just make up. Well, maybe they don't make up, but because in the commentary we're saying they just made up numbers, but I don't think they are. Egon probably knows exactly how much money they need and how much it has all cost. So anyway, so describing what it is: a class, whatever, full roaming vapor. Right, so it says right. $4,000 because Egon's doing that. He does like 4,000. Then he does $1,000 for storage of the beasts. And he says $5,000. I didn't think it cost so much. He says, well, we could just put it. I won't pay it. He says, okay, we could just put it back in there. He says, all right, I'll pay. So they just give him not a receipt. Yeah, receipt. They give him a receipt, don't they? There it is. Coming through class 5 free roaming vapor. And then they become super famous all of a sudden, the Ghostbusters, and they're on TV and everything, and running down streets as Dana watches while she's doing her exercises. So there we go. Apparently this fella, a lot of people think he's an extra, and but apparently one is just somebody that wandered onto set and there's like, well, funny. So kept him in. What else we're going to see? They're going to work. Seen them on USA Today. Obviously, stuff's going on, and a lot of this montage scene. A lot of it were filmed on the first day of shooting, or the first few days of shooting around New York. So when people around New York, something was coming. They were doing a cool film at some point, and they were putting Ghostbusters stickers about as well. Just the logo, it didn't say Ghostbusters out on. And Dan Aykroyd's driving the hearse or ambulance, wherever it's supposed to be. And the bit where we see him running down the street, is it going to be this bit? See him doing all this stuff. That's Larry King, that, isn't it? Remember him? Omni. Oh, this one. This is the first day of shooting. Apparently, Bill Murray had just arrived from France, where they were doing. They were making a film, and I forgot what it was called. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called. They were making a film. It was like his own project or whatever, and he refused to come and work on this until he were happy that were done over in France. Anyway, finally he arrived. On the day that he arrived, they put the uniform on him and he ran through the streets of New York. And I think there's another scene where they weren't supposed to film. It might be later, I don't know. But, or I might have gone past it knowing me. I probably have. There's a scene of them running. Where is it? Oh, it's this scene. Is it the Lincoln Centre or something like that? You're not allowed to film there without a permit, and they did. And they're being chased by a security guard, apparently. I'm trying to look out for him. There's a security guard somewhere chasing them. I can't see him. But apparently they were being chased out by a security guard. Anyway, oh, for God's sake. There we go. So, little montage out of the way. They're getting famous now. No job is too big, no fee is too big. You know, and all that. And poor Janine's been overworked. Is it just a mist, or does it have arms and legs? Well, just don't go in there. And all that stuff. And they've got new, I think they've got, they're on chat shows and stuff. How is Elvis? There you go. How is Elvis? Have you seen him lately? And I thought, what are you asking that for? Why Elvis? And then we get the dream sequence, which is why this has probably got a 12 certificate for moderate sex references. Dan Aykroyd, Ray is having a cheeky dream, but apparently it wasn't originally going to be a dream sequence. Apparently it's supposed to be in some fort somewhere. So obviously on a job, and this happened for real. Why he's wearing this uniform, I don't know. But originally it wasn't going to be a dream sequence, and they decided to make it one. So anyway, this, I don't know, I think they describe it as a succubus. So she appears over Dan, and we see, then she disappears, and his trousers undo, and then he pulls faces like that. I don't know what's happening. I don't understand what's going on, but anyway, so there we go. Then Winston arrives. There he is. Ernie Hudson as Winston Zedmore, as the fourth Ghostbuster. There she's asking what he believes in. Do you believe in UFOs, astral projection, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, what else? Spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis. Says, it's a steady paycheck. I believe anything you say. So anyway, so they arrive back after a job, all covered in whatever, goo, slime, ectoplasmic residue. So they hire him on the spot, there we go, and set him to work straight away. None of this, shall I come in Monday morning or whatever, no, straight away he's working. Right, so, right now, we're meeting back with Dana and whoever, I don't know what he's, does he have a name? I can't remember, I think he's just called something. I forgot his name. Timothy Carr something. I forgot his name. Timothy Carhart. There we go, Timothy Carhart. I can't remember if he's got a name in this. Oh, my eyes are going funny. Is he here? Is he here somewhere? Timothy Carhart. Come on, where are you? Oh, there he is. No, it's just called Violinist. Right, fair enough. And some people think this is who she married, in between this film and Ghostbusters 2. Some people think she married him. Does it matter? I don't know. But anyway, he's obviously interested in it. If you're a Star Trek fan, you'll recognise him. He's been in Next Generation. He was, hang on, I can't remember. I've got it written down here. Lieutenant Commander Christopher Hobson of the USS Sutherland that Commander Data takes command of in Redemption. Is it Redemption? Part 2. I think it is, isn't it? Who doesn't like Data, is a bit of a bigot towards androids, but anyway, that's by the by. So he's another Star Trek actor. Cool. Anyway, so they're talking about guest conductors and all that stuff, but Venkman's there, so she goes up and talks to him, and he's got info about Zool. So there's he's watching on. Apparently the sound man, they filmed this somewhere. Maybe this is the Lincoln Centre. I've heard them mention the Lincoln Centre, but I can't remember. Maybe this is it, I don't know. The sound man wanted them to turn off the fountains because too much background noise, and they wouldn't turn it off. So they said apparently this was the few scenes that the ADR, they looped the dialogue because of the noise from the fountain. Anyway, right, so there we go. We learned that Zool is a demigod worshipped 6000 BC by the, what is it, I've forgotten. I'm going to tell us. What's that word? Hittites, Mesopotamians, and Sumerians. Technically, Sumerians were Mesopotamians, but never mind. I think Hittites were more west, weren't they? I think. In, like, the Holy Land. I think that's where the Hittites were, weren't they? Anyway. It says, what's he doing in my fridge? And Zul was a minion of Gozer, who we're going to meet later. Demigod. I mean, Hercules were a demigod, weren't they? But anyway. So, she's saying, well, what's he doing in my icebox? She says, well, I thought we could, have dinner and we'll work it through the spirit guide or whatever, and we'll eat and read. And so, basically, she agrees. So there we go. And as Ivan Reitman says, she looks so pretty in this scene. So they're on a date. So they're going to a date on Thursday, and this is where he copies the. For some reason, there's fellas skating about, and he copies the man skating, doing a pirouette look. That's where we hear Elmer Bernstein's lovely music as well. Bet Josh Temple is a hemigod kind of guy. Don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway. Undo them two wonder what they're doing there. Do they live there? Or the extras? Are they there for a reason? I've no idea. But lots of police cars and stuff are going to arrive now. I think this is it. Let's have a look. Not in. It's later. Thought it was. Never mind. Anyway, right. He's training up Winston, telling him how they use, what they do with the ghosts, where they store the entities and slimers. So there's more than one that we trap. Because remember, they were called Onion Head, weren't they? Not Slimer. But anyway, so it shows him all that. There we go. Goes through all this stuff. Neutralise your field, blah blah blah. And once light is green, trap is clean, and all that. And I presume I have to open it and take the trap back out, I suppose, or that, whatever. But anyway, so there we go. By the way, what's behind that then? Because later on, spoilers, when it all goes wrong, we see all the ghosts, we see all this all lighting up. So what's behind that wall? Don't know. The storage facility, whatever that is. A Hemi engine is an internal combustion engine with hemispherical combustion chambers which are domed in shape. If you say so. If you say so. Americans. You'll be talking about baseball next. Right, so it's showing him that. Egon's working away on something over there. Janine's moaning. No, not yet. She's telling him that a man from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, is in his office, and then she complains that been promising to get her some help, but he fobs her off. And she says, I've quit better jobs than this. Ghostbusters, what do you want? Anyway, right, so this is where we meet Walter Peck, played by William Atherton. There we go, shakes his hand, covers him in slime. Anyway, so you know him from Die Hard and other stuff. Always plays not a nice person generally. Has he been in Star Trek? Don't know. I get him mixed up with other people sometimes. But anyway, right. So he's asking him, what he does here and what they do with the ghosts and stuff that they catch. And he says we put them in a storage facility. He says, is the storage facility on these premises? He says, yes, it is. He says, may I see the storage facility? He says, no. He says, why not? Because she didn't say the magic word. So what is the magic word? Please. He says, may I please see the storage facility? And then he says, why do you want to see it? And then he starts kicking off. He starts getting angry with him. About all the wild stories around him. And he wants to know if they've got any noxious chemicals down in the basement. Then he says, instead of saying, so can I please see the storage facility? But it says, no, show me it or I'll come down with a warrant and shut you down and all that stuff. And he says, well, you do that and I'll sue you. So that's going to come back and bite him in the bottom instead of, but anyway. Always loved in the cartoon the storage facility was its own world, was it? All right, so there we go. I'd never watched real Ghostbusters, so that explains it. Anyway, look, they stole that sign from the university. We saw that in the university earlier on, didn't we? Any Coca-Cola knocking about? No, they haven't. Just got some Twinkies. Anyway, there we go. It's getting crowded in there, apparently, and this is where he does the Twinkie analogy about let's say this Twinkie represents a normal amount of psychokinetic energy, PKE, in the New York area. I said, this morning's reading, it will be a Twinkie, 30-something feet long, weighing approximately 600 pounds. That's a big Twinkie. I love Twinkies. They're alright. We can get them over here, but they're expensive. They're expensive over here because they're not a thing that's a thing over here. Yes, that's a big Twinkie. Could be on the verge of a 4-fold cross rip. Yeah. Anyway. So he comes down, says, how's it hanging, guys? He says, there you go. We've had a visit from the EPA. And then goes, tell him about the Twinkie. What about the Twinkie? Right, so we're back on top of Dana's building. Obviously, the energy, the PKE in the energy, it's been soaking it in. Just Emble says, I could eat it. Not the 30-odd foot one that weighs 600 pounds. Anyway, the building's been soaking up all the energy from all the ghosts and stuff and all that jazz. So now that it's bringing back to life Zool. Have they just been trapped in these statues, or I don't know. But anyway, I suppose not to think about it too much. But we see the the claws, there we go, come out of there, and then for some reason, the eye pop. So did it pop its eye out or something? Did it go like that and poke with its eye? Don't know. But anyway, it starts glowing. So I presume it's just going to burst its way out. It's done it these days. It'd been all CG, wouldn't it? And they're showing it bursting its way out. But no, we don't need that. We know it's in there and it's going to come out in a minute. Because we see what's left of it, don't we, in a little while. But then we cut to Sigourney, looking very nice. There we go, in the elevator. But she comes out and tries to sneak past. I think she's been to the gym because she's kind of got gym clothes on. So I think she's been working out somewhere. But she tries to sneak past. But obviously he he's got a party going on. He says, "Oh, you're missing a classic party." So he must have asked her. Oh no, he did. He told her earlier on, didn't he, in the film, that they were having a party. She says she forgot. So anyway, because she's got a date with Venkman, remember. She says, "Oh, it's all right. You can bring him along." No, it's the door's closed. She says, "Oh, we'll try and stop by." So he gets all excited because obviously he's in love with Dana, but the lock is locked out again. Right, so she comes back in. The telly's stopped turning itself on, I suppose. And the phone rings, and it's her mum, and she says, "I've got a date. It's with a Ghostbuster." Then she hangs up. We see something's going on in the kitchen. What's happening? This is kind of quite scary, is this bit? I must admit. Is this his first bit of profanity in the film? Might be. I don't know. Apart from, well, no, it isn't, because the fella at the beginning said pissing, didn't he? Pissing me off. So, anyway, she says shit in a minute, because she looks over to see what's going on in the kitchen, the scary Freddy Krueger style stuff going on there. Look, I don't know what it's supposed to be. Is it just supposed to be hands, or is it a face, or I don't know. But anyway, something pressing up against the door. And then she says, "Oh shit!" And then lots of hands come out of the chair, and a couple of them Copperfield. Hang on, there we go. There we go. That one comes out, look. And then another one comes out. There we go. Cops a feel, and that one nearly does. So we see even more. There we go. There's Zool, and proper having a good old grow up. Some of them hands. What happens then? It doesn't really tell us, does it? Because as you can see there, Zool is corporeal. It's a physical thing in the kitchen surrounded by smoke. So what happens? Does it... I don't know. Does it turn into like a non-corporeal entity and possess Dana? You know, obviously turn into some sort of mist. All this stuff and go into Dana. I don't know. It doesn't show us. That's if it were made today, they'd show it, wouldn't they? Anyway, that's it. All these... oh, heck, is that pulling her top down? Have we seen a bit of bra? Yes, we are. Look, proper cop in a field, look. Anyway, then the chair goes whizzing into the kitchen and the door slams shut. There it goes. Right. And then I think we see where the statue... both the statues. So Zool and Vince Clotho. Both out and about. The gatekeeper and the keymaster. We're going to see Vince in a minute. It says Vince, but it's spelled Vince with a Z. As in Winston Zeddemore. It's not Winston Zemore, is it? Anyway, whatever. So actually, they see they're both out. Right, we're at his party, and apparently this is one long take, and I've never really paid attention to it. One long take as he's going through the party, and apparently he improvised it all, did Rick Moranis. Just made it all up. I presume he had notes, you know, what he's supposed... things he's supposed to cover, I suppose, and because it sounds scripted, but apparently he improvised it all. She's called Kasem, I think. Tall woman at party. So is she related to Casey Kasem? I don't know. Where does it say? Casey Kasem, tall woman at party. Where are you? Jean Kasem. Let's have a look. Jean Kasem. Yes, you were previously married to Casey Kasem. There you go. So she was, maybe at the time she was married to him, I don't know. But anyway, she says she's going home. So she said, well, if we start dancing, maybe everybody else will join in. So they start dancing. But then there's a knock at the door, and it's Ted and Annette Fleming. Anyway, so it goes into all their details of their financial woes. Then he's a growl. Because I forgot earlier on. Yes, just this bit. He throws their coats, there we go, throws their coats into the bedroom, onto Vin's Clotho. Obviously, he didn't see it, he wasn't paying attention. And then there's a growl, and says, who brought the dog? And then Vin's Clotho's going to make his appearance in stop motion form. There we go. That's it. It looks good to me, you know. I think it's fine. I think it's cool. Obviously, that's a puppet. Cool. Scary for kids. And Adrian James is here saying hello there. Oh, saying hello there. Obi-Wan style. Wingris did, and you did a Casey Kasem impression at the very start of the stream. Did I? Oh, right. I thought Casey Kasem did Shaggy. I did a Fred impression. Let's split up and search for clues. Or did he do both? I don't know. Anyway, alright, so he runs out, does, what's his face? Lewis, there we go, he runs out, runs down the hall, leaves his guests to their fate, but Vince, for some reason, wants Lewis. So it comes crashing through the door. Say, I like the effects. Cool stop motion. That ain't, but anyway, so down in the elevator, she sees it, runs back in. Wonder if that's the same woman that saw the the Predator in Predator 2. You said you did Shaggy when I said the ghost thing. It wasn't supposed to be. I was supposed to be doing Fred. Go that. Oh, that Shaggy was it, aren't I? I was just saying it. I wasn't doing a Shaggy impression. This is my Shaggy impression. I can't do it now. Like Scoob, let's check out this creepy basement and all stuff like that. That's my Shaggy impression. Anyway, right, then there's a bear loose, so he goes running out, and then Vince follows him. In a minute, here he comes. Why is there just Zool? Why is Zool just Zool and Vince? Has that got a proper name? Vince Clotho. Why isn't it Zool Smith or whatever? But anyway, here it comes. Here ready? Wait, cool. That's it. I think that looks good myself. I think that looks pretty good for stop motion. Looks pretty good. Anyway, chasing him through Central Park. Identity theft is not a joke. What? Anyway, so he's arrived at this. It's got a name and I've forgotten. Hang on, it'll say here, won't it? In the locations. I've seen it. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere in Central Park. Tavern on the Green. That's where it is. Tavern on the Green. In Central Park on West 67th Street. So he arrives and everybody's ignoring him. He's trying to get in. He's saying, please let me in. Everybody's ignoring him. Debbie Gibson's in here somewhere. Don't ask me where, but she's in here somewhere. You know, the singist from the 80s. So he's trying to get in. Not happening. So, there we go. So where he says, nice doggy, maybe I have a milk bone. I don't know where Debbie Gibson is. She's in there somewhere. I don't know where. And this bit here, there's another where I think does... There we go. They don't see Vin's Clotho. They all look round as he screams and slides down the window. Going... down the window. But they don't see the hellhound. So obviously other people have seen it. So why don't they see it? So I thought, does he turn into a mist or something like that and go into Lewis? That's my headcanon. That's what happens. But anyway, right. Peter arrives at Dana's apartment. Notices that something's gone on, and he asks this policeman. And at first, I thought this was the same policeman that we see in a bit when Mr. Peck arrives. But he's a different chap, isn't he? He arrives, says some moron brought a cougar to a party. Anyway, so up he goes to the 22nd floor. Has a glance in at Lewis's apartment. They're all taking statements from the guests as he ran out. Is that what they say? Oh, it's not showing it. Not showing the version that I watched on Amazon. It had subtitles for all what they were saying inside there. Not showing it there. Anyway, so he knocks on the door in some weird Masonic knock, as though it's like a code. But anyway, she opens the door and she says, are you the gatekeeper? No, are you the keymaster? She's the gatekeeper. Because that's another sexual reference. Innit? Where are we? Sexual references. You can't really see it, can you? There we go. Focus. Never mind. 12th certificate for moderate sex references. This could be another one. Keymaster and gatekeeper. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Anyway, she asks, are you the keymaster? He says, no. And so she just slams the door in his face. So he knocks again. She opens up, are you the keymaster? He says, yes. And exactly, I'm a friend of his. He said he'd meet me here. So he's in now. So there you go. What are we doing today? Preparing for the coming of Gozer, the Destructor, she says. So he wants to talk to... he's trying to seduce him. Some more moderate sex references here. It says, we've got to make it a rule never to get involved with possessed people. And she says something like, I want you inside me. And says, it's more a guide. Oh, she kisses him, that's it. More a guideline than a rule. Anyway, so he tries to take control, and he wants to, because he becomes psychologist Peter now. Because remember, he's a doctor of psychology and parapsychology. I don't know if he can be a doctor of parapsychology. But anyway. So he says he wants to talk to Dana. This is where she does that. There is no Dana, only Zool. Which apparently is Ivan Reitman doing that voice. Anyway. So he says, no, I want to speak to Dana. So I'm going to count to 3. And then, if I don't speak to Dana, there's going to be some trouble. So Dana decides to do some levitation for some reason. Well, there is a reason, because Ivan Reitman worked in a stage show called, is it Merlin or The Magician? Or maybe both, I don't know. But in that show, they did a levitation gag, which they do here. So she goes floating, there we go. So this is all in camera, no optical effects. She's been lifted. They did, they call it, like a body cast. So she's basically lying on a big body cast. Like a solid thing, probably from there up to there, I suppose. There's a pole or a pipe or a rod or whatever that disappears into the curtains, and obviously we can't see it, and it's hidden by her clothes as well, and it's lifting her up. They did a similar thing with the succubus ghost as well that we saw earlier on. That was a similar sort of thing. Anyway. So she goes floating up there. Linda Blair style, and then she turns over for some reason. Why? Don't know, but she does. And I don't know how they did that. It didn't explain it in the commentary, how she turned. But they could have done a 360-degree turn if they wanted. I don't know how, but they did. Not they didn't, they did a 180, didn't they? But if they wanted to, she could have done a 360, apparently. But anyway, that's what he said. It says, please come down, and then she growls at him and snarls as though she's going to get him, because she goes, anyway. So, then Vince is running through New York, sniffing and looking for the gatekeeper. Meanwhile, there's people playing steel drums, going giving it all that. Never noticed that, to be honest. Can you hear them? Why you can, yeah. I've always been paying attention to Lewis. I never noticed the steel drums in the background. Oh dear. Wonder if they're just big giant that's a big giant Coca-Cola can, probably. Anyway, goes running up. For some reason, he thinks this horse is the gatekeeper. Bestiality jokes. Don't know, but he talks to him and talks to the horse. Speaking in, there we go, Volgus Zildroha, Lord of the Sebulia. Is this just made up stuff? I don't know. You never know with Dan Aykroyd. Is there some ancient tome that he's got these names from, like Lovecraft and stuff like that? I don't know. But some ancient Mesopotamian, Babylonian, Sumerian, like the Epic of Gilgamesh that he's got these names from. I don't know, but anyway. So he says, there you go, this chap says, he pulls the wagon, I make the deals, and he growls at him and makes his eyes glow, like that. And then he runs off. Oh, and he also says a little clues to what's going to go on. They're going to say, there we go, wait for the sign, then all prisoners will be released. If you know, you know what's going to happen. All the prisoners will be released. Anyway, so he goes running off and kicks over, pull a woman shopping. And he says, what an asshole. Apparently he's a stand-up comedian, this actor. I don't know who he is, but apparently he was really nervous. Got to Ivan Reitman, he was really nervous, and it took him a while to get his lines right. But they did it. Right, the police arrive at the Ghostbusters, and like it says, dropping off or picking up. Dropping off. So do they get a lot of calls like this from the police? Maybe they do. So it just shows how the police are willing to work with the Ghostbusters now. They've become... What's the time frame, by the way? How long's this been going on for? Months? Don't know. Anyway. Let's see, they've got a new sign now, look. So they're bringing in the money now, aren't they? As Peter said, the franchise rights alone will make them rich beyond their wildest dreams. So why haven't they got other Ghostbusters officers about? Anyway, they haven't. So they brought Vince to the Ghostbusters HQ, and Egon does the PKE detector, and it goes all the way to the top. There we go. So he says, I think you should bring him inside. And she says, you're such a humanitarian to look after that man. And he says, I don't think he's human. And then we see, I actually like this bit. He's got the it's supposed to be similar to the things that they had on Dana, but because it's Rick Moranis, that they'll make a joke of it. It's a colander with all bits and bobs stuck on. But I like how it's not showing. Before it showed Dana as Dana, didn't it? But now it's showing Lewis Tully as Vince Clortho. But I like how when he turns his head, that turns its head at the same time. Looks cool. It's cool. I know it's simple, but simple things impress me. But anyway. So there we go. This is where he says now, Vince Clortho, keymaster of Goza. Offers him some coffee. And for some reason, I don't know why, is taken with, pardon me, with Egon. He's like taking orders from Egon. I don't know why, but it doesn't explain it. Because he's asking Egon all the time. You know, she says, Janine asks, do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully? And he says, do I? And he says, yes, have some. And he says, yeah, yes, have some. So just repeats it. So for some reason he's, I don't know, being subordinate to Egon. I don't know why. But anyway, there you go. He's going to tell him what he's waiting for. Goes the Traveller. He's got to find the gatekeeper so that Goes the Traveller can come. And then he talks all about him, all about Goza. He will come in one of the pre-chosen forms. So I don't know what these are. During the rectification of the Voldrani, the Traveller came as a large Torb, whatever one of them is. I have no idea. I have no idea what a Torb is. And then the third reconciliation of the McKettrick supplicants. Again, are they just made up things? There must be, mustn't there? A giant slaw. Whatever a slaw is. Shubs and Zools. So there's more than one Zool then. Many Shubs and Zools knew what it was to be like roasted in the depths of the slaw. That, I have no idea what they're talking about. But it does evoke imagery. It does to me anyway. Of all this stuff going on in ancient Sumeria back in the day. Anyway. Gilgamesh, a king. And all that stuff. Anyway, there we go. Sniffing. Is that popcorn? I think he's sniffing popcorn. I'm usually very psychic and I fear you're going to die. But anyway, so there we go. Then the phone rings and it's Peter who's still with Dana. And they go, I've just whacked her up with about 300 cc's of Thorazine. What? He takes Thorazine out on a date with him, does he? What were he planning? I don't know. But anyway. So she says she's the gatekeeper. Says, I've just met the keymaster. He's here with me now. And Peter says, we should get these guys together. He says, no, that would be extraordinarily dangerous. He says, okay, I'm on my way over. So he says, right, I'm going now. You stay asleep with me. And he gives her a big, like, creepy kiss on the, I don't know, on there. The sternum. It's not sternum. What do they call that? Clavicle. Gives her a kiss on the clavicle. For some reason. Apparently they got on really well, by the way. Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray apparently got on really well while they're making this. Because the talk is that he's hard to work with, isn't it, Bill Murray? A lot of people have said that, but apparently Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray got on really well. Right, Ray and Winston are headed back, presumably back to HQ, and Winston's talking about the end of the world, stuff in the Bible, Revelation and all that. The dead rising from the graves and all that stuff. But meanwhile, Ray is looking at the blueprints for Dana Barrett's building. He says it's very weird. There you go. The roof cap is made of a magnesium tungsten alloy, obviously. Anyway, so there we go. And he talks about the end of the world, Judgment Day, and all that stuff. And then that's a cool shot. They're driving over the Brooklyn Bridge. Is it the Brooklyn Bridge, or is that the Brooklyn Bridge in the background? I don't know. But driving over a bridge. Maybe this is the bridge that it broke down on. They said it broke down on a bridge. Right, so they arrive. Oh no, this is the police and stuff arriving, the EPA and all that stuff. And I was looking at him, I thought, is he the fella that played the police chief in Beverly Hills Cop? He can't be, can he? It looks a bit like him, you know. I'm gonna fall for no banana in the tailpipe and all that stuff, but I don't think he is. Just reminds me of him. Anyway, he's arrived with his cease and desist order. There we go, she goes in. I know you're not allowed in here without a warrant or a writ or something, so it says here, cease and desist, all commerce order, seizure of premises, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. So they go down, so turn off all this stuff to the poor Conhead chap. Says, no, that's dangerous. Turning off all this stuff will be, extremely hazardous. And Vince is just copying everything that Egon does. He's got his arms out, and Vince is putting his arms out, and he's also sniffing him for some reason. Anyway, but obviously he's not having any of it, and he's telling him, shut it all down. And then Peter arrives, and he says, we're here to cooperate. It's all a misunderstanding. You had your chance. Anyway, so he tells the fella, shut it down. So I said, right. So he shuts it down, turns off the power, and then alarms go off, and it all starts shaking and all that jazz. And so here we go, like that. And he goes, another shit moment, and then it all starts breaking. There we go. That's it. I wonder what's behind that wall. Don't know. But a pocket universe full of ghosts. So they all go running out, and then as it's all happening, there we go, she wakes up. There's Dana, and then we see a cool effect of all the ghosts breaking out. Look, oh no, all the pink ghosts breaking out. And this is where we hear, I forgot the name. It's magic. That din din. Do it in a minute, won't it? When we get the wide shot. Oh, it's the sign, by the way. This is the sign that Vince has been looking for. So he goes running off, following the ghosts. Yes, and Walter Peck gets cross with them and tells them to arrest the Ghostbusters, which they do. By the way, during this scene, I said they were throwing all water and stuff at the actors, and apparently the costume designer was saying, don't get Egon's suit wet, and asking what were in the stuff that they were throwing at him, because it was like water and slime, stuff like that. Because it's the only suit they had for Egon. But it does get wet, because you can see it's wet through. They're all wet through, aren't they? They must have managed. Anyway, so they've been arrested of the Ghostbusters, and then we hear the... have I muted that? I can't remember who it is, I forgot. I've forgotten to get my thing out. Mick Smiley, magic, Mick Smiley. It's magic. Which is cool. That's it. I think this was shot from a hotel. Apparently, it must be a tall one. But they shot this from a hotel. There you go. There's the Twin Towers. They're not there anymore, are they? There's the Empire State Building. But that's it. Cool shots. Like I said, some of them, like I said, these lines and stuff, and I wonder how they did them. Is it just traditionally animated, or they're like, it's not CG? They do it CG these days, wouldn't they? That sort of stuff. Sorry, got to mute it. Anyway, she's going to the window. This is where we see all the ghosts coming now, because all the ghosts have been let free from the prisoners have been freed. And so some of the ghosts are weird, like this one. In a minute when it comes up, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but here it is. There it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Just a scary creature. There we go. That comes out. And then what happens here? Right. So this spirit has gone into this taxi. So. So has it possessed the taxi driver and turned him into like a zombie or skeleton or whatever? Or is it just appeared like that? Is that the ghost? Because it's very solid, isn't it? All the other stuff, all the other ghosts we've seen have been like translucent and, weird colours. But it's like a solid thing, isn't it? I don't know. But anyway, it takes this fella for a ride. We don't know what happens to him, but it's like crashing and stuff. So he's still looking where the Spook Central, that's what he's looking for. See Slimer again in the hot dog stand. I could just eat some hot dogs now. I'm getting quite hungry, actually. But it's the guy from Scrooged. Yes, not Bill Murray. Not the taxi driver as well from Scrooged. I mean like Bill Murray's boss in Scrooged. He was a famous actor, and I forgot his name. He was Charlie, wasn't he, from Charlie's Angels? I'm sure he was. I've forgotten his name. Anyway, I love hot dogs. Yes, so do I. I could just eat some. I've got a big jar of them in the pantry. Anyway, Coca-Cola cans. Look, there we go. Coca-Cola watch. Lots there. Coca-Cola. That's how I look when I'm eating. Love hot dogs. With mustard and ketchup. And onions. Let's all have a dog. Yes. Anyway. So, Slimer's there again. Eating all the hot dogs in that poor hot dog stand fella's chap. This here looks very CG-ish, doesn't it? But obviously, it probably isn't. I don't know. Or do you think it's like some 80s video effects on film? I don't know. But kind of reminds me of in that film Life Force. We've done it on Friday Night Appointment with Fear, Life Force, about the space vampires, where instead of drinking blood, they're getting energy from people, and that in that film they have this sort of effect with like beams of light going through London. It's like that. But anyway, right. So back at Dana's apartment, for some reason her windows are going to explode, but and they actually did it while Sigourney Weaver were there. He's got a super wide zoomed in lens on her, and we're going to see that there we go. The window explodes. Obviously, it was rigged so it just blow outwards. And Hot Dog Monday. That kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Say Hot Dog Monday, Taco Tuesday. What could we have on Wednesday? Don't know. Anyway, for some reason the window explodes. Anyway, but she's fine. We see her. Hang on, where are we? But she's actually there because, oh, for God's sake, I'm not going to show it, is it? Lewis must see that happen. And then we see her through the debris. And it were right chuffed, were Ivan Reitman, because he got that shot of Sigourney Weaver behind an explosion. Anyway. In honour of, what is today now? It's you used to call it Columbus Day, didn't you? So, happy whatever they call your holiday today. It used to be Columbus Day, didn't it? Now it's Indigenous People Day or whatever. Yes. Hot Dog Monday. Make Mondays better. Got on a cap. Oh dear. Don't know. Anyway. Right, anyway, where were we? So, our windows exploded and Lewis is on his way. The Ghostbusters are in jail. This is a friend of Dan Aykroyd, apparently, this fella. And, so there you go. You got a part of my film? Yeah. They've been sent to jail, but they've been allowed to take everything in with them. All their plans and stuff. You'd think the police would take all this off them, wouldn't you? So once you're released, you can have them back. But no, they're fine. They're allowed all these bits of paper. So, anyway, this is where we learn about Ivo Shandor, who built designed the building where Dana Barrett lives. And obviously we meet him again, don't we, in Ghostbusters Afterlife, don't we? But who did rituals on the roof to bring about the end of the world, and now it may actually happen, and they were all Gozer worshippers and all that stuff. So anyway, the mayor wants to talk to him. I was telling him all about that. All about Evo Shandor, but there we go. The mayor's going to talk to him. Reginald Vell Johnson's here because he always plays a cop. So he says the mayor wants to talk to you. So there we go. Right, Lewis has arrived at Dana Barrett's apartment. I said, this is a cool shot. I said they had all them rubbishy trans lights, and now they've got a cool matte painting or just a photographic plate or whatever. But it looks cool anyway. She's waiting for him anyway, so to speak. He also did a great role in Invincible, the cartoon, which I still haven't watched season 2 of that. I keep forgetting about it. Anyway, so he arrives. I'm the keymaster. There we go. I'm the gatekeeper. So they're going to get down and dirty, but she's taking control, obviously. So they're going to snog and presume do the dirty. Do you know what? I wonder if Lewis Tully's the father of Oscar. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Because there's a suggestion that they, keymaster, gatekeeper, and all that stuff. No, won't do it. Anyway, and then we see there's a stairway leading up there. Look, stairway, maybe to heaven, but maybe not. So up they go. Right, they're heading to see the mayor. This is City Hall, New York City Hall. There we go. But they're not actually filming in the mayor's office. They're filming in an office on the other side of the building, which is actually identical to the mayor's office, but it's somebody else's. But, it's got the same layout, apparently. But anyway, not that anybody would know. But anyway. So, that's where we're learning all about the stuff that's going on across the city. Walls are bleeding and all that stuff. The Ghostbusters arrived. Peck is there saying, they're consummate snowball artists who use nerve gases or whatever to make people hallucinate that they're seeing ghosts. But anyway, that's where he calls him. Dickless. Says everything was fine until the power grid was shut off by Dickless here. That were an ad lib. So there we go. It says they caused an explosion. Is this true? It says yes, it's true. This man has no dick. So all that from an ad lib. Anyway, and it's haunted William Atherton ever since, because Ivan Reitman was saying that he saw William Atherton, I think like a year or so, or a couple of years after filming this, and he saw him somewhere, and he went over to him all, thinking he'd be happy about all the work he's got because of Ghostbusters, because it was such a big hit. And he says he was really angry with him because his life's been miserable because people just shout in the street and call him Dickless. Anyway, so they're all saying, there we go, the walls in the 53rd precinct were bleeding. Anyway, then the bishop arrives, and says it's a sign from God and all that stuff. But don't quote me on that. And then we get a racial slur from Winston. So I've only been with the company a couple of weeks. But, in that time I've seen shit that'll turn you white. Anyways, then we get the old, a disaster of biblical proportions. What does he say? I can't remember. Old Testament stuff, real wrath of God, fire and brimstone, dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, and all that. So it's another T-shirt one, in it. Dogs and cats living together. But anyway, so they say, let us sort it out. And if we can't stop this thing, we'll go to jail. We'll do it willingly. But if I'm right and we can stop this thing, Lenny, 'cause that's the mayor's name, you will have saved the lives of millions of registered voters. And so the bishop knows. He gives a little. Oh, for God's sake! There he is. Look, see, he knows, because might be a bishop. He's also a politician. So they get Peck. Peck gets thrown out, and he comes back. He's in the latest one, isn't he? Is Peck? Frozen Empire. I've only seen it once. I can't remember what happens in it. I didn't think it was that good, to be honest. It was all right, but but whatever. Right, so off the go. It says, what do you need from us? So this is where we're going to meet the National Guard. Here we go. There's the National Guard. They're going to escort the Ghostbusters to Spook Central. Here we go. Another effect that Ivan Reitman didn't like, these clouds appearing around the building. It said it looked fine to me, but he didn't like them. Maybe they're a bit too black or something, I don't know, but it should have been a little bit more diffuse, maybe. Looks fine. By the way, the building looks kind of weird, doesn't it? As though it's not symmetrical. I don't know. It's like it's leaning back a bit. You know what I mean? As though the top part's further from this part than it is the back. That's what it looks like to me, anyway. But I don't know. These lines around this building. Never mind. You haven't seen that. Never mind. Right, so here we go. They're all the religious people. People are protesting for some reason. The end is near. Ron Jeremy's in one of these scenes, whoever he is. Anyway, never mind. Right, so here we go. Right, here they're coming, the Ghostbusters. Apparently they shut down a street to film this. Not for long, but because they basically essentially shut down 60% of Manhattan Island, apparently, while they were filming this. And Dan Aykroyd, while they were filming this, Dan Aykroyd saw Isaac Asimov, and he was a big fan of his, because he was into science fiction and all that. So he went running over to him, Mr. Asimov, it's great to see you. And Isaac Asimov said, are you responsible for this? The delays, because people couldn't get anywhere because they'd shut down Manhattan to film this scene. And he says, well, yeah, I suppose. And it says, it's disgusting, and walked off. So never meet your heroes, especially if you've shut down 60% of Manhattan. Anyway, they arrive outside at 55 Central Park West or whatever. See you later, Josh. Have a great time. Whatever you're doing, don't forget your harpoon. You've got it propped up in the corner. Don't forget it. Anyway. Right, so the Ghostbusters are here. He's basking, Pete basking in the adulation of the crowd. They're all cheering for Ghostbusters and all that stuff. Looks like that shirt, friend, the Ghostbusters. And so do we see what shirt he's got on? Let's have a look. Because apparently, why has it gone slow? I don't know. Have I pressed something? Have I done something? I've pressed something. I don't know what I've pressed. Oh, there we go. Oh dear. Anyway, so they're gearing up. Apparently, there's people in the background with Ghostbusters T-shirts that are like what do they call them? What's the phrase? Not official. They call it now. When something's not official. Anyway, so they were selling them. Because the film, even though the film wasn't out and it was still being made, it were kind of famous because they'd seen all the promotional stickers and stuff that they put out, posters. So there were people selling unofficial T-shirts. Bootleg, yes, that's the word, bootleg. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I'm going to have to add that to my list. I've started doing on my desktop. I've got a little notepad thing, and I've started putting on words that I can never remember, like improv, and the word that I can't think of now. So I'm gonna have to add bootleg to it. Oh dear, didn't help me then, did it? Anyway, right, so they're getting ready, they're gearing up to go in. So in they go, and but then we're going to cut to first, because we're in New York here, and then because it's all going to kick off. It's all going to, there we go, lightning's happening and storms and stuff like that. There we go, and it's all going to kick off, and there we go. Then we cut to Los Angeles. Hang on, sorry, get rid of that. We cut to Los Angeles, and for God's sake, I've done it again. I'm an idiot. And an earthquake happens. There we go. Now they're in Los Angeles. They've rebuilt the front of that building on 55 Central Park West in Los Angeles on the Warner Brothers Ranch or whatever they call it. Rebuilt it because they needed to, because they couldn't obviously do it in the actual location, because they needed a place where they could do this earthquake, and they were good, the street lifting up and all that. Just for this bit. It's just for this bit where you see that happening and the police car sliding down and all that stuff. There we go. There we go. And all that. And then, because they needed to, they couldn't do it on the actual thing. But I think almost immediately, not yet, but once it's done with all the moving ground, moving about, now I think we're back. Is it this bit? I think we're back now. We're back on this bit. This bit now we're back in New York now. So they basically set dressed the road and put bits on to make it look as like the Los Angeles thing. There we go. So we're back in New York now. Cool. The magic of Hollywood. So anyway, they're fine. They'd all fallen down these holes, but they're fine. So they get out, and everybody's chanting Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, and I presume that's when Ivan Reitman or one of the producers or whoever got on the phone to the boss of Columbia. Oh, it does sound right. Yeah, it is Columbia, isn't it? And said, get us the name Ghostbusters. Anyway. So, in they go. Right, so they're going up the stairs. 20, because the elevators mustn't be working. So they're going up the stairs, and you can see this is a matte painting. I think this is the only flight of stairs. I think beyond that line there, you can see the line there, the join. It'll be there, won't it? Yeah, there. Because it's slightly different colour, isn't it? Lines up pretty well. That's a matte painting. But anyway, so up they go. There we go. When we get to 20, tell me I'm going to throw up. The elevators mustn't be working. Right, so we're back with Zool and Vince, and the intimation is they've been intimate. As I said, so I think, in my head canon now, Louis Tully is the father of Oscar. That's what I'm going with, which is why I forgot his name. The baddie from Ghostbusters 2 wanted Oscar because he's already supernatural. That's what I'm going with. Anyway, right. So Goes is going to make its appearance soon. Right, they've arrived, and the door's going to open. The doorway, enough psychokinetic energy must have been created or absorbed into the building. There we go. Hang on. There we go. We're going to get a look. There we see the Ghostbusters arrive. At the corner penthouse. It's not a penthouse, though. That's what it says. I'm sure it says corner penthouse of Spook Central. It's not a penthouse, is it? I thought a penthouse was on the top floor. I don't know. I'm not an expert at these things. I just live in a regular house. Anyway, so they have to go up those stairs. Right. There we go. Then there's cool effects, sparky light, 80s lightning effects. I love 80s lightning and 80s. So like, these sort of effects, it's cool. They can't do them now for some reason. It's why I still love stop motion animation rather than CG and all that. I love stuff like Jurassic Park and all that, and CG monsters and stuff done well, but I still love stop motion stuff. I don't know, it's got a magic to it for me. But anyway, right. So the door's opening. Look, for God's sake, they're going to show us again. They come running round, and there we go. The door opens, probably to another dimension, I'm guessing. And and then Louis and Dana turn into the true forms of. I don't understand why. Don't overthink it. I don't know how it works, but cool effects. They turn into Zool and Vince Clortho. There we go. Arr. As I say, I love stop motion. I do. I love stop motion. Wonder what Ray Harryhausen thought when he saw this. Because he'd retired by this time. His last film had been Clash of the Titans in 1981, hadn't it? So, wonder what he thought when he saw this. Because it is good. It is good. I must admit, I do like it. And I do like the little things that they do as well. There you go. They're moving about, doing little Harryhausen type things. You know, they're not just doing stuff, you know, as you'd think they would. They do little, you know, character moments and stuff. But I'm waffling. Anyway, so off they go. They go running up here and perch themselves on the side of the stairs there. Off they go. There we go. You see. Right, and Gozer appears. And it was supposed to be Paul Rubens. You know, Pee Wee Herman. But he said no. He said, I don't want to do it for some reason. But so they got her in, and I've forgotten the name. Goes Slavica Jovan, Hungarian or something like that. Hang on, let's have a look. Yugoslavian. Is Yugoslavia still exist? It doesn't exist anymore, does it? So, let's have a look on Wikipedia. By the way, that film that Bill Murray were working on before he'd come and do this was The Razor's Edge. I've just seen it. I've just seen it there. Dear. What am I looking for? I don't know. I've forgotten. Where is she? I can't find her. By the way, the seductive ghost, succubus, were a Playboy playmate, Kimberly Herring. There you go. There we go. Slavica Jovan. She doesn't have a Wikipedia entry. Typical. I'm just curious as to where exactly she was from, because it says Yugoslavia, but that doesn't exist anymore. But it was Yugoslavia when she was born, but it doesn't say where. Oh, she's Serbian. Right, so we're obviously in Serbia. Right, anyway, whatever. Serbia now. It got split up, didn't it? It became Serbia and Croatia and all that stuff, didn't it? Macedonia? Was that part of Yugoslavia? Might have been. Anyway, so here we go. It's a girl, they say, and it says it's whatever it wants to be. By the way, they wanted her to look like David Bowie for some reason, but that's why they're going with the flat top, I suppose. But anyway, so here we go. There we go. Stroking Zool and all that jazz. There you go. It's whatever it wants to be. But whatever it is, got to get by us. So go get her, Ray. So Ray says, you know, go back to whatever dimension you came from, or else. There you go. Return to your place of origin. That's kind of cool looking. I think in Afterlife she was played by. Oh God, I forgot her name now. That Russian actress. Anyway, Soviet reunion coming mid-2025. I wouldn't be surprised. Popped in my head the name of that other actress. She played Taskmaster, and she's a Bond girl. But anyway, there you go. Return to your place of origin and all that stuff. Or the nearest convenient parallel dimension. That ought to do it. Thanks, Ray. He says, are you a god? Obviously, they didn't use her voice because she had a strong Eastern European accent. So they got, I can't remember. I think I've got it in my notes because I've forgotten. Where are we? Paddy Edwards provided the voice of Gozer. Who's Paddy Edwards? I have no idea. Let's have a look. Probably uncredited. Oh, God, my bloody eyes. Gozer, voice, Paddy Edwards. Right, what's Paddy Edwards? Windgrace is saying, oh, she did all this, that and the other. Known for, she played a secretary in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Oh, right. Is that one thing? Oh, right. Done a lot of voice work for Disney stuff. What else? And other stuff. She were in, oh no, not the original. Well, maybe she was. I don't know. She was The Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue in 1997. Little Mermaid. Also, the voices of Flotsam and Jetsam. She was in Star Trek. TNG. Played Anya. I don't know what episode. Does it say? Does it say if I click on that? No, it don't. Which Anya? I have no idea. Remington Steele. She was in that as well. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Secretary. Anyway, whatever. She's been in loads of stuff. It's Paddy Edwards. The voice of Gozer. Right, where were we? Anyway, so you a god. Oh, for God's sake, done that again. You say, are you a god? And Ray says, no. I said, well, then die. This is kind of awkward, isn't it? Then, kind of awkward, that, isn't it? Could have done it with a bit more flair. She was like, die. She's no Palpatine, is she? All said and done. But anyway, so she zaps them all. There we go, zapping them all. They're there looking on, slavering. And people are looking up, going, oh no, the Ghostbusters, oh no. And there was all sparks and stuff happening. But they're fine. They didn't get knocked over the edge. But Winston gets thrown about. Let's go back a bit because it shows it in the wide shot. There we go. I think it's Winston. Yeah, it is. Winston gets thrown. There was that poor Winston, look. It's picked up and cast aside. Anyway, that's it. They're fine. Right, so they get this. Says, right, this chick is toast. So they're going to turn on their stuff, their proton packs, and they're going to get her, aim for the flat top. Now, does he mean a head? The hairdo? Or does he mean what she's standing on? I don't know, but they think they get her because they fire at her. There we go. And there we go. She. Oh, let's aim the flat top in a minute, isn't it? There we go. She does that little flip and lands on top of that. Right. So when he says aim for the flat top, does he mean that or does he mean that? I don't know. Anyway, they just seem to aim for her, don't they? And there we go. They just shoot. She just disappears, or it. Sorry, she just disappears. So they think they've won. They say, oh, look, we had the tools, we had the talent. But obviously they think, no, something bad's coming. And then they hear the voice, choose the form of the destructor. And all that stuff. There you go, sub-creatures. Choose and perish, it says. They all got to think. Somehow, Peter just works out that, whatever we think of, if we think of J. Edgar Hoover will appear and destroy us. I don't know how he's worked that out, but anyway. So it says, clear your minds. That's the worst thing you can say, isn't it, to anybody? Because, I don't know, how do you clear your mind? I've always got random thoughts going through my head. But anyway. So I don't blame Ray, because he thought of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. There you go, the choice is made. And Ray says, I couldn't help it. So here comes the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Here he comes. Here he comes through a model New York. It looks fine. They had 3 suits, apparently. The 3 of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man suits, and they all got destroyed. I don't know why, they just did. Anyway, so here we go. Here he comes, look. A kaiju stomping through New York and making things crash and smiling all the way. It's cool. I love the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Not these silly little ones they had in Ghostbusters Afterlife. Anyway. So here he comes. Oh, this is a cool. I said this is all a model, miniature, I suppose. I said there's a fella in a Stay Puft Marshmallow suit, but he hits or something hits a fire hydrant. There we go. Something's hit that fire hydrant, and to do that, because obviously you can't miniaturise water, so it's basically shooting salt up into the air. It is cool, isn't it? A similar thing they did in Moonraker, the James Bond film Moonraker, with the space shuttles launching. Instead of like flames and fire and sparks and stuff coming out, making it look rubbish, they had salt streaming out. It looked like a contrail from the back of the space shuttle. That's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? So there we go. Anyway, gonna look up at them and get them. I was going to stand on this church, and I'm sure it's got a name. Does it say? They did that in Phantom Menace too, instead of a waterfall. Did they? Oh, cool. I didn't know that, I don't think. Although I probably did, because I've got the Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff, and I probably did mention it in the behind the scenes, but I'd forgotten. Oh, in the Theed, because that's all waterfalls, isn't it? It's Theed, so that was probably all salt waterfalls. Because there's a lot of practical effects in the Phantom Menace, not as much CG as people think. A lot of practical. Anyway, what am I going to say? I'm going to look at something I've forgotten. What are we going to do? It's gone. Can't remember. Anyway. I've got to remember what I'm going to do now. You've distracted me, Win Grace. Anyway, here comes the Marshmallow Man. Mother Puss Bucket. He says, oh, wow, that's what we're going to do. Look for this church. What's the name of this church? Is it going to say? Does it say? Fire station, Biltmore Hotel, Columbia University. No, it doesn't say the name of that church. It's a bit poo, isn't it? Anyway, never mind. I'm sure it's got a name. Anyway, it's going to stand on this church, but kind of just disappear behind it. Look, I don't know. Not the best. See, but Ivan Ryman didn't complain about that, really. But anyway. Nobody steps on the church in my town, so they're going to zap him. There we go. Again, cool. I'm guessing this must be a stop motion model. Because his expression changed, didn't it? And it looks kind of cool. But he's just going to hug the building and make all the flames go up. Like that. Make the flames go up. So they're going to make them all, no. So this is where Egon has the idea what to do. And Egon says, we can cross the streams through the portal and it'll do something. There we go. Reverse the particle flow through the gate, which is what Doctor Who had said, wasn't it? Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. Basically turn something off and on again. I think that's what that means, doesn't it? Reverse the particle flow through the gate, cross the streams. So that's what they're going to do, cross the streams. So, right, that's what they're going to do. Meanwhile, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man nearly gets Ray. In a minute. Here we go. Hang on. Go on, Ray. Whoop, with his big burning hand. Ooh. Anyway, right, so here we go. They think they're going to die, probably. Egon says there's a very small chance we'll survive, but I think we're going to go down fighting, we're going to save the world. So it's the old, nice working with you and all that. And all the men in the audience are going, crying. Because it's all manly stuff. So there we go. So they're firing the whatevers through the doorway. Much to the surprise of the Marshmallow Man. That's another bit of... there we go. Another bit of... stop motion animation is the expression changing. So there you go. There they are, crossing the streams, and it all goes in, and it all blows up. Here we go. There we go. It all blows up. Oh no! Explode in a big, Adobe After Effects. Even though that didn't exist, I don't think. Explosion, and there we go. The building blows up. Apparently, this is a practical effect, but there you can see the Marshmallow Man getting marshmallowed to oblivion at the side. It's nice that they thought of it. I wouldn't have thought of that if I were working in film, but they did. They built this and blew it up, and they built it quite strong apparently, and it had all metal bits in to direct the flames and the explosion and stuff like that. So that's a cool practical explosion. And it looked quite big as well, doesn't it? So I don't know how big it was, but there we go. And if it were a modern film, there'd have been a sky beam going up, wouldn't there, into the clouds. But no, it's just doing all that. And then it's supposed to be marshmallows going to come dropping down, but it's all shaving foam, menthol shaving foam. So it's all plopping down, and then a big bunch of it, if you can have a bunch of shaving foam, lands on Walter Peck. There we go. And there's two stories. One story is that he didn't know it was going to happen. They told him basically just stand there and something's going to happen, and they just dropped it all on him. But there's another story that he did know what was going to happen, because he says, is it safe for you to drop all of that on me at once? So they tried it out on a stuntman first. So there we go. I believe the second story, to be honest. Anyway, so he gets all covered in shaving foam. It's supposed to be marshmallow in it. And yes, they used menthol shaving foam because they thought it'd be nicer. But then apparently some people, or at least one person, had an allergic reaction to the menthol. But anyway, so there we go. They've won. There we go. All the evil powers dissipating. Look, and there we go. So they all come out. They're all covered in marshmallow. I don't know how they are, because it all exploded outwards, didn't it? Oh, and there's poor Zool and Vince Clortho all turned to all nice and toasty. Anyway, they all come out covered in I'll be damned, the marshmallow shaving foam. They all come out. I don't know how they've got all covered, but anyway. Apart from Venkman, who's hardly got any on him, and that's deliberate. They just did that because it was funny, you know. They're all covered in it, and somehow he's hardly got any on, you know, just for the fun of it. But they see, you know, the two dogs burned to death, so they think Dana and Lewis have been killed, but they haven't. We see that we see a hand pop out in a minute. Hang on. Here we go. There we go. They're still alive. They're inside. So I don't know how it worked. So 1 minute the dogs are inside them, and then they turn into the dogs. And then when the dogs die, they're inside the dogs. Don't get it. Don't overthink it, Steve. So they're alive. So they get out and they get Dana out, and there's Lewis. He's there as well. Somebody turn on the lights. And so they're all fine, and everything's lovely. It says, hi, and the kiss and all that stuff, and hug. And here we go. They get him out. Say, you guys, where the Ghostbusters? Oh, the superintendent's going to be pissed. And then tells him, here we go. You've been a participant in the biggest interdimensional cross rips in the Tunguska blast of 1909. You'd think Dan Aykroyd would know that the Tunguska blast was 30th of June 1908, wouldn't you? It's like that bit in Independence Day where they talk about, you know, the Roswell crash, where they say it was in the 50s. I thought, well, don't they know it was 1947? Everybody knows that Roswell was in 1947. If you're doing a film about it, you do your research, wouldn't you? So I don't know why I said that, but anyway. Maybe Tunguska have copyrighted the date. The people of the Tunguska region of Siberia, but I don't know. They go, felt great. I'd like to get a sample of your brain. Okay. And then Winston says, I love this town, but they won't be saying it for much longer because they all get sued, don't they, for some reason. Anyway, out they come. Obviously it's a different day or whatever, because that'll have been filmed on a stage, and now we're back in New York. And then we go, and then we get the credits. And they have a kiss. Apparently, there we go. They have a nice kiss. That said, apparently they got on well. And they're all happy. He's having a cigarette. Nearly said the other word. And they're all going to drive away. Rick Moranis is out saying, anybody want to interview me? There we go, you know. But and then we're going to get one last look at, in a minute, as they drive off. Don't know who he is. I think we see some T-shirts in this bit. You know, the bootleg T-shirts. Where is it? There we go. Bootleg T-shirts. on set. But anyway, so they drive away, and then we get one last look. Oh, for God's sake! At here he comes. Here, Eddie. Here he comes. Of slime, and here he comes. Ah! And then we go out to I think the bus boys. I think. Yes, with the bus boys. Speaking of Eddie Murphy, the bus boys were in Eddie Murphy Delirious, weren't they? That video of his. But anyways, that's the end of Ghostbusters, classic film. One of the best films ever made, in my opinion. I love Ghostbusters because I've been here for nearly 3 hours talking about it. Unbelievable. But, oops, did the wrong thing. Never mind, I'll get rid of it. It is a classic film. One of the best. One of those nearly perfect. It's a nearly perfect film is Ghostbusters. Astonishingly good, and everybody's seen it, haven't they? So what can I say? I can't say anything more about it. Go if you haven't seen it, go and watch it for Christ's sake. Bloody hell! Right, so we'll leave it there. That's it. You can't say anything more. And go on eBay and buy the original soundtrack album. Winggrace is such a sarcastic bugger, isn't it? He's so sarcastic, it's unbelievable. He's allowed to be. Right, what's coming up next? Right. This Friday's appointment with Fear, excuse me, is Stephen King's It. Not the new one, not the Andy Muschietti two-parter. It's the 1990 two-part mini-series. So we've got the DVD. We're not watching the DVD version, we're watching the Blu-ray version. The DVD version is in widescreen, but the Blu-ray version is in 4:3. What can I say? On Friday, I'll explain and show a comparison. Anyway, so that's what's happening on Friday. The next Mondays, Magnificent Mondays, is the Clifton House Mystery. So that's an interesting ghost story from British TV in the 70s. I think 1978 it came out. Spooky as heck for a British TV kids show. But anyway, that's next Monday. So there we go. So that's what's coming up next. Right, we'll leave it there. Because it's nearly midnight. I like that series, even the long and boring stuff people hate. Clifton House Mystery? What, have you seen it? Anyway. So there we go. We'll leave it there. Right, so thanks Wyngrace, and thanks Josh Temple, who's buggered off, and Justin, and Adrian James, and have I had any more? Anybody else pop in? No, I think that's been it, hasn't it? If I've missed you out, I apologise. It. All right. Yes, the mini-series, yes. It's good. I like it. I think Tim Curry's great in it. And I think some of the effects are okay. Some of the arts are good. But it's got stop motion in it, which is why I like it. So I love stop motion effects, if they're done well. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see you.